I don't know why. Why is anybody? I don't know why anybody's liking this guy.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Thursday, August 13th, 2015. Time once again for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination, episode 747.
This is No Agenda.
Guarding reality in all corners of Gitmo Nation and broadcasting live from FEMA Region 6 here in the capital of the Drone Star State, Austin, Tejas. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm closing out Red Book number 4, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
I think you overmodulated there, man. Did you swap something out?
I am closing out Red Book number 4.
No, I mean on the gear.
Oh, you want me to turn it down?
Yeah, just 1 dB, 1 dog biscuit.
A dog biscuit. Okay, let's do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. We can try this.
And talk while you're doing it. It's better.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Stop. Okay, talk.
Testing 1, 2,
Yeah,
3,
perfect.
4, 5, 6,
Okay,
7.
good. Welcome to the show.
So I'm closing out Red Book number 4.
Wow. Should we publish
There's
these?
1 page left.
Should we publish
one lone
these?
page, so I have to be concise with my notes.
Should we publish these?
Nah. Here, let me read from the second to the last page of the Red Book, and I'll tell you why we can't publish them.
Okay.
Christmas show notes. This is from, like, God knows when.
Yeah.
It's something I wrote in the back of the book early.
Mm-hmm.
Bat signals, pre-interviews, 14th of December, New York City.
So it's completely unintelligible.
18th back.
Well, you can cross one off in this last book. You can cross off one of the Red Book predictions.
Yeah, what did we do?
You know, a lot of people have criticized her, not just Rush Limbaugh, but for talking about the war on women and for trying to take down the frontrunners, you said, in something of a theatrical way. He didn't handle it well, though. He could have handled it horribly. He could have handled it much better. There is somebody coming to his defense, though.
Who's that?
The North Korean government on their Twitter account.
Do we have that, Alex? The North Koreans are, here we go. U.S. media in total disarray as venomous Fox News declares war on noted scholar Donald Trump. So there you go.
Got the North Koreans.
I told you they would link I told you they'd link North Korea to Donald Trump.
I'm the one who said that.
Oh, are you kidding me? I said they will somehow compare Donald Trump to Kim Jong-un. Open the book. You're telling me that you said it now? No.
It just says it. I'm the one who said it.
No, you did not say it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'll go back myself. This was only a couple of shows ago.
It was the last show when we had Kim Jong-un as the artwork with Donald Trump hair. Someone can go. Are you kidding me? All right, it's fine.
It's easily resolved. I don't know why you get so worked up about these things.
Because you're so adamant about it, and it was only the last show. And
I'm just telling you, it's a simple fact.
You remember things very strangely.
Well, you do, and you remember things so accurately. The Israeli moon bases, which took 2 years to discover,
prove it's not true.
I didn't decide the point.
Okay. All right. It doesn't matter. It's in a book, and we predicted it. It's okay. It's all right. There are much more important things afoot. In fact, at hand. Happy Left-Handers Day, John.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Go on with this.
Did you not know that August 13th is Left-Hander Day?
Okay, and what else?
Well, there's a lot of famous people and world leaders who are left-handed.
A lot of them. Isn't Obama?
Yes, Obama, Gerald Ford, Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton. That's quite a lot.
This may be the problem with society.
The lefties.
The lefties are always trouble.
Damn those lefties. Let's see. Who else? Oprah. Yeah, there's a lot.
Oprah.
I am not left-handed, though. Are you?
I'm not left-handed either. We're a right-handed group.
Yeah. Do you carry left?
I can throw left-handed, though. I'm kind of ambidextrous.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you carry left?
I constantly do it just to try to keep my accuracy up. I don't have the distance.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Okay, that was thrilling.
Yeah, I was just throwing it out there.
Nice rocky start.
Yeah, well, okay, then take us back on track.
How about, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about Trump
Do you want
I'd
to
rather put Trump off a little bit?
Yeah, me too. Me too. I got a lot of different Trump things, so I agree. Let's put him off. How about
let's put him off to the second half, and we can do a whole concise thing on Trump, because I've got a number of.
Good.
Well, let's do one as a teaser for the end, which is my.
Okay, hold on a second.
We're going to do a Trump teaser in the A block.
A block Trump teaser.
A block Trump teaser. Good.
Because I put in the newsletter, Chris Hayes. I condemned for being like, he's the guy gets. I don't know what he makes, but he makes more money than we do,
for sure.
And he doesn't know anything. What's the point of doing a show if you don't even understand or can't even possibly fathom what's going on with Donald Trump? Mm-hmm. And so the newsletter talked about this, and this is the clip that got me to write that.
You have to tell me which clip it is.
It's got Chris Hayes written in there somewhere. I don't have my list. I know it just says Chris Hayes.
I'm looking.
Oh, this is going to be a great show.
And I do not have anything that says Chris Hayes. I just don't have it. Here, Clinton, News Archive.
Do you think I should go to the printer and grab my list?
Yeah, why don't you do that while I continue to look? Megyn, Michael Steele, Rand Paul, SF Rents. Oh, the befuddlement of Chris Hayes. Found it.
All right, joining me now, Republican media consultant Rick Wilson, founder of Intrepid Media, and MSNBC political analyst Howard Dean, former Vermont governor, former chair of the DNC. Rick, what are we watching here? I can't. I continue to have a hard time understanding what is happening in front of me as far as Donald Trump is concerned.
No.
The campaign, which started on a platform of Mexico is sending rapists, has now become a campaign about cherishing women. He said earlier, in terms of women's health, I'm for that. He also seems to have constructed this somewhat bizarre new axis of evil that's China, Mexico, and just dashed in today Vietnam, whose leaders are more cunning than ours and apparently beating our brains out. Although if you went to the median Mexican or median Chinese and asked them that were the case, I doubt they would give you the same answer. What is this?
Chris, are you guys picking up yet that Donald Trump's brain is a hot mess? This is a guy who just says what's on his mind.
Okay, yeah, good teaser. Good teaser.
Now,
the establishment is in disarray, John.
I want to mention something he says that I don't think anyone else on any other show would ever say. Go talk to the median Mexican.
Whatever that is.
What is a median Mexican?
I think it's a target on the highway.
You can say talk to the average. What he's doing is trying to be intellectual instead of saying the average Mexican, which is what he's trying to say.
El median,
the median, which is a statistical thing.
Yeah,
you can't talk to the median Mexican.
El median.
You can talk to the average Mexican because, you just kind of randomly pick somebody. But the median Mexican would have to be the one guy right in the middle of everyone below him and beneath him. You can't be one lone person.
It's perfect.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. It's a good teaser for the B block.
Yeah.
And
come on, it's the E block.
And we had Hayes going, no, we're picking up a lot of these stutters everywhere. Here's Kerry.
No. Look, I'm not struggling with this at all.
No. And Trump has one.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing.
Where'd that one come from?
Yeah, some speech he gave.
Bing, bong, bong, bing, bing.
That's a keeper.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, I'll start with my favorite guy, but a short-winded. Everything cut out, all the or as many of the breaths and the delays and pauses. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about. Watermelon head John F. Kerry.
Yes, the guy who ever since I made or kind of asserted that we should not have any more clips of him, you've had a clip of him consistently.
I can't help myself. But he's
hypnotic.
He is hypnotic. He took something so out of context and he had this big interview with Reuters, and he talked about the U.S. dollar, which we'll talk about. Have that clip for later on. But then he got into cyber, and the question is if he believes the Russians and the Chinese. Let's just throw them all together. The Russians and the Chinese are reading his email. And then just listen to how this is the Secretary of State who should know some things.
It's very likely that your emails are being read?
It's very possible. There's no way for me, and I certainly write things with that awareness.
With all of the attacks that have come apparently from China on the U.S. government, there is a sense that the United States is unable to defend itself in the cyber world.
Well, how much cyber...
Yeah, you can feel it coming, right?
As you know, Scott, it's a very complicated and fast-moving world.
Oh, very complicated and fast-moving world.
I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yeah, here's an idea. Why don't you go to gpgtools.org and even if you're on your unsecured network, just encrypt your emails. I guarantee you it's going to slow down all these hackers. It's not that hard.
There was just yesterday a meeting of hackers who came together to talk about the way...
Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, he's talking about Black Hat.
Yeah. Listen to how he characterizes it.
A meeting of hackers.
A meeting of hackers. No. A meeting of...
boys, we're having a meeting.
Yeah, it's a meeting of geeky boys and girls and vendors. Everyone's selling hardware and software. There's feds all over the place. FireEye, the corporation that has been... tapped as the indemnified source for all your cyber sharing needs in Silicon Valley, was there presenting, talking about how you can steal Android fingerprints. Oh, yeah, this is not just hackers. This is corporate America getting ready for the big bonanza.
Who came together to talk about the ways in which they can get into all kinds of facilities, open the locks on a car, get into people's bank accounts. It's of enormous concern.
Well, we should have gone in there and arrested every single one of those hackers in Vegas.
Yeah, especially they're talking about how to get into people's bank accounts.
And unlocking cars.
Oh, that's so hard.
Spying has taken place for centuries. And the latest means of spying is to be going after people's cyber. Companies spend...
Going after people's cyber. How's your cyber? I
don't want anyone going after my cyber.
Don't touch my cyber, man. Hey, get out of here with your cyber.
Going after people's cyber.
We need to write that down. Don't go after my cyber, bro.
Companies spend billions of dollars in order to protect themselves. The United States government does the same. We are deeply involved in fighting back against this on a daily basis. It has huge consequences, and we're trying to create a code of conduct and a system of behavior that hopefully could rein some of it in. But right now, it's pretty much the Wild West, so to speak.
How hard can it be? A code of conduct is very simple. Click on this button, encrypt the email. It doesn't seem that hard. If the government is so hell-bent on removing encryption from our lives, why don't they use it themselves? If they know that they can't get, no one can, our great cyber, we can't get into it.
Well, I think that's even more important considering what he says, which is he doesn't know whether the Chinese and Russians are reading his emails. Yeah. I think we should be concerned about this.
Yeah, it's not that hard. I don't see the problem.
The Chinese, the Russians.
Yeah.
But that's just throw their names out there. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you credit. That was a reasonably good Kerry clip. So I'm not going to, no points against you on that.
Thank you. You want to stick with cyber for a moment?
Yeah, well, we're on cyber. We might as well stick with cyber.
I've picked up this report.
Just don't touch my cyber.
I would never touch your cyber.
Good to know.
We are two guys who respect each other's cyber. And by the way, you don't know where my cyber's been, so you shouldn't touch that.
I have a hunch.
Okay. New company that I've been tracking, can't find out enough about them yet.
So the big question is, how does Facebook or other social media sites do this? I can tell you about Facebook for sure. What we do know is that how Facebook's criminal detection program operates is this. The software, it focuses on conversations between members who have loose relationships on the social network. You know, here's an example. You could have two users who, they aren't friends or they only recently became friends. They have no mutual friends, interact with each other very little. They have a significant age difference and or are located far from each other. Now, these are just a couple of things that are part of the tools that the operating system uses, and they pay particular attention to these things. Now, The scanning program, it looks for certain phrases found in previously obtained chats of records from criminals. So it also has these keywords that then go into this, and all of this adds up to identification. But the relationship analysis and the phrase material, it have to add up before a Facebook employee actually looks at the correspondence. And then, and only then, does an employee make the final decision of whether or not to alert authorities. So it's not like Facebook employees are spending hours looking through your conversations. It's several steps before a human being is even alerted to look at anything.
So I went looking for this. This was a pretty big story. Where did this come out? I think it started in, let me see. Where did this start? It was a Reuters interview with one of the people who do this. So you'll remember we have the Cyber Information Sharing Act. We have multiple different little lines hidden in different bills that, although this bill hasn't passed yet, that obliges all internet providers, and that's not service providers, but providers of internet services such as Google and Facebook and Twitter, etc., that if they come across anything that could be seen as terrorism or any other violent crime, they have to share this with FireEye. FireEye takes that, they give it to the government. Everybody's clear, everybody's clean. And Facebook is using an outfit that does just this, and they're very proud of it. It's called the Metaverse Mod Squad. And you can find them at metaversemodsquad.com. And their client list is huge. Now, I tried to find out who's funding them. I couldn't find any information on their funding. They were started by a couple of lawyers, and they have tens of thousands of so-called mods. And so it kind of implies they're moderators, but really they're trolling for trigger words and sentences, and let's look at the relationships, and maybe and they're just looking at you all the time. And it reminds me,
good catch.
Yeah, and it reminds. So I can't find much on them. The management, the founders,
they're run by a public relations operation. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I just could not find
one of the big boys at the top, I
know, but I couldn't find anything.
Omnicom.
Maybe. The
reason I say that is there was a nice piece that was floating around. I tweeted it, and I actually saved the page. Of course, it's not on this computer, so I can't read it directly. But it was on Reddit, and it was a guy claiming to be a mole for some public relations company and part of a good group of 100 or more people that that just hung out on different forums and websites.
Right. It was I was paid to make comments on Reddit. I think that was the title of the article.
I was paid to make comments on Reddit.
Yeah, I've seen this.
And it's been taken down, of course, which everyone predicted. Right. That's why you immediately take a snapshot of it. And this is going on, I think, right now to an extreme. And I think this mod, beware the mods.
Yeah.
I mean, this is if you look at just the thing with the Vespas and the logo and it's like, some sort of like watercolor paint is the logo.
Yeah.
And then the Metaverse Mod Squad. This is very high end.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of the big. This is what you pay the big bucks for.
Exactly. And look at their client list.
Yeah, I saw it. It's very impressive.
It's huge. So these are the guys doing it, and they are doing it actively. And what was it reminds me a little bit. We got one of our producers forwarded a note from PayPal that said, we have to, your donation cannot go through, your payment cannot go through until we check with compliance for regulations. And he had put it, and don't do this. This is not a good idea. His address was something like Gitmo Nation, Syria, Damascus, London. Did you see this email?
No, I missed it.
Yeah, it was like he had a fake address that it was Syria, Damascus. Like, yeah, if you're going to be donating money and you have Syria in your phony address, yeah, this is going to get stopped, and it could get us in trouble possibly.
Yeah, what are you trying to do? Stop it.
Not a good idea. But this is what's happening. They are
change your email to We Love the USA.
Yeah. Go USA.
Go USA.
Go USA. I have another cyber story.
Before you go on, I just wanted to, I'm still looking at this page.
Yeah,
customer support, community, moderation, social. They do all of it. This is an operation.
These are the guys.
And it says right here, I want to read this. You found your secret weapon.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
No, they found their secret weapon.
Yeah, well, this is like weaponizing the web.
Yeah, yes.
Our digital engagement teams of mods, chat with customers, moderate web content, manage communities, and buzz in the social media.
Manage buzz.
Manage buzz.
Oh, manage buzz. I like that. Nice.
Manage buzz.
Yeah, our clients, NFL, NBC, Warner Brothers, Harry Potter, PBS Kids, Nick at Night, HarperCollins. I'm just going through.
Yeah,
Second Life, Activision.
This is I think you stumbled on something that's major.
U.S. Army, Electronic Arts, Beats Music, Showtime. Let's see what else they have that I noticed. Those are some of the big names. Now, we know that they work for Facebook, but they don't have that on their website as far as I can tell.
Small potatoes.
Yeah.
They work for the government.
So I want to find out more about these guys and mainly who's funding them. Because
did you do a who is yet?
I did a who is. Let me just make sure. Who is?
If they have an anonymizer.
Yeah, I think they do. Metaverse, because that's kind of my go-to thing. MetaverseModSquad.com. Let me just double check. See what they've got on there. Who is?
Culture.
No, they don't. It's 1300 S Street in Sacramento. And Amy Pritchard, so she is the founder. She's registered.
Amy Pritchard. Why does that name ring a bell?
Yeah, she's a lawyer. Maybe she sued you. Let me see. 1300 S. This is a cool trick. S Street. Okay. San Francisco. No, Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Let's see what else. Let's see what else is. What we like to do is see what else is at that address. We have
usually
we have Rojas and Associates CPAs. We have Creative Loft.
Which is I think we're probably working out of there.
Yeah,
that's one of those. I'll rent an office.
Probably.
That's my guess.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll just keep our eye on it. And I'm sure we'll have some people around who have heard of them or know about them, or maybe even a mod who works for them. That would be kind of nice.
That's probably,
very possible. Very possible. Okay.
Well, they're probably too busy to listen to our show.
Sticking with cyber. Now, this is a very strange news story. You may have heard about this. This is the mother who decided that she was going to breastfeed not just her son, but her friend's son.
Yeah, a very funny story.
And did you hear the real kicker of it, though? I don't think so.
I would guess I didn't, or you
would.
The
more the merrier. A Pennsylvania mom said breastfeeding is so nice, she's doing it twice, with her own son and a friend's son simultaneously. Jessica Ann Coletti of Conshohocken told the Daily News she has been nursing her son Lucian and her friend's child Matteo for the last 10 months. Coletti offered to feed Matteo, now 18 months.
Now, I already seen the chat room. People are freaking out. How can this be a tech news story? Hang in.
After meeting his mom Charlie in Toronto at a photo shoot last year for women.
Hey, stop.
I'm stopped.
This is not a tech news show.
Hold on. Tape has stopped.
No,
this is not a tech news show. Why should this be a tech story, and why are you apologizing for it?
I said it was a cyber story, but it's also a tech story.
I just want to make it clear we're not doing a tech show here.
No, but I set it up as a tech story.
Okay.
And then, as usual, in the first 20 seconds, this is not tech news. Oh, yes, it is.
For women who had recently given birth. The women became inseparable, she said. Interanti, 25, wasn't able to pump her own milk for Matteo at her job as a barber, and Matteo had trouble digesting formula, Coletti said. It just seemed like the natural thing to do, because I was already breastfeeding my son, Coletti added. The boys are also being raised together. In Toronto, he moved in with Poletti and her husband, an IT consultant named Ben, last month.
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course I've heard that. That was the title of most of the postings.
I love that.
Yeah, I know. I love it as a guy named Ben. Everyone made a big fuss about this story, and I thought it was kind of funny. But has anyone ever heard of a wet nurse?
Yeah, this is not new. Yeah, this is not new. But it does give me an opportunity to play another jingle.
Mr. President, Paul McCartney.
A significant impact.
Significant impact.
No. Hey, dude named Ben. OPM.
What does significant impact mean?
No. Hey, dude named Ben. OPM.
And the fact that they were able to...
I know, it's a stretch, but I liked it.
It is.
Dude named
I like
Ben.
the coordination with the no.
Yeah.
And the dude named Ben, all that other stuff. And it's kind of like gratuitous.
And we'll have another longer new entry of the dude named Ben at the end of the show as a kicker.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
The last one was fantastic. It was
Yes.
so long we couldn't have played it during the show.
Yes, correct.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see what else we got. I got too much Trump stuff here.
Yeah, it's interesting that I also
Let's talk about Black Lives Matter.
Oh,
and
please.
Bernie.
Okay, good.
Well, actually, then again, it gets into Trump.
No, it's okay. But he's dominating headlines around the globe, and rightfully so. This is fun.
It's fun.
It's hilarious.
It's fun to watch.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to
Everything
think
gets all
about.
bent out of shape.
It's all right, but let's do it. What you got?
Well, let me put it off just a second because I want to mention a little project of mine.
Ooh.
This is like this is full sacrifice. I'm putting it all out there for this.
Okay.
I've decided I'm going to record and listen to, because I can record 3 shows at once. I don't have the newer stuff that can record 7 and 8 shows, but I can do 3. So I've decided over the next few weeks, maybe the next few months, but at least the next few weeks, I'm going to listen to because they're only a half an hour each, every network news broadcast from ABC, CBS, and NBC to determine if somebody had to watch one of these networks, to determine which one is actually decent.
Oh, okay. What is your sample size, i.e. how many shows are you going to watch to do this?
Probably. Well, I've already watched 3, but I figure I'm going to watch about 30.
Oh, man. You are jumping on the grenade.
I am. But there are notes of entertainment. I'm already starting to see the trends. I can already see. I can predict who's going to win. If anyone's interested, if you want to just watch one of these network news shows, I can tell you which one to watch right now. Which one do you think?
CBS.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no comparison.
No,
CBS they have a good range of news stories. They're these stories. They're well presented, and they don't have a bunch of bull crap that, either feel good. They do sometimes they do a feel good story at the end, but they don't have a lot of feel good stuff. Or what's worse is the native advertising they slip in.
Oh, yeah.
And now the number one offender is, what do you think?
Of native advertising?
Yeah. Well, if you look at the clips, you'll figure it out.
ABC?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I have an example here. Now, they finish off one of their blocks. I think this is the D block. They're finishing the block off, and they decide to drop native advertising in at the end. And it's like they don't put a native ad in. They put 2 of them in.
Oh, gosh.
Weigh in, let us know.
I'm sorry.
Wait. They're both bogus stories that neither of the other networks covered, which indicates to me they're obviously bought and paid for. And one of them is ludicrous.
Weigh in, let us know. Now to Trader Joe's tonight, and a new study that finds that living near one has actually been linked to booming real estate prices. Property values jumping 40% in some neighborhoods. Trader Joe's believe to have a bit of a knack for picking neighborhoods that are about to take off. Oh, yeah. And a big change for the quarter pounder tonight, a little bigger. A 4-ounce patty of beef, we're told, now 4.25 ounces. I don't even know if I'd notice. Quarter pounder, a little bigger tonight. When we come back here tonight,
Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can believe it. I can totally
First
believe it.
they go with Trader Joe's as some sort of a real estate predictor.
Yeah.
Which is, by the way, who did this study? And this is bull crap. I've seen where Trader Joe's are. They're all over the place, and none of them have, in Beverly Hills cropped up around them.
Mm.
And then the quarter pounder is now 0.25, and this is news?
Yes, it's very important news.
Well, I mean, I would normally in these situations, I'd say, well, take out an ad, but apparently they did. And that was it. You heard it.
The ABC has been doing a lot of interesting things. I finally figured out this whole, and I don't know why necessarily. Maybe they believe it's going to be ratings bonanza, that this is the new tip that everybody wants to be on. But they, of course, hooked right into the I Am Caitlyn Jenner packaging. Let's put it that way. They really created much more than just the ESPYs award and the Diane Sawyer interview. They simultaneously launched 3 other shows on their Disney ABC properties along with I Am Kate. So they debuted Becoming Us, which is a so-called unscripted show. And
what's that about?
Okay, let's see. I have it here. Becoming Us, airing Monday, is an unscripted look at life for Ben Leewald, an Evanston, Illinois teen whose father, Charlie, is becoming a woman named Carly.
Oh, they're all in.
Wait, let me give you the other 2 examples.
Okay.
Then, and by the way, and I said by the way, Becoming Us, I think, yes, it's being produced by Ryan Seacrest. So he gets to do a big network show because the I Am Kate show is not produced by him. They went to a much larger, much more established production house for that. So they have I Am Kate, Becoming Us, and then I Am Jazz, another reality show on TLC, which is also owned by Disney ABC. South Florida teen who was assigned male at birth and wants to become female. And let's see, what was the other one? Was there a third one? I thought there was. So we have I Am Kate, Becoming Us, and I Am Jazz. Okay, so that's the 3. And a huge mistake has been made, maybe purposefully. Purposefully, thank you. Because this I Am Kate show is a dog. They are making every single mistake you can imagine. Somehow they've turned Bruce Jenner into an advocate for transgendered, and as far as I can tell from the one episode I watched, male to female. But what they do is they put Kate Jenner with Bruce's voice, which is just annoying, and because he's not even trying.
Some hormones.
He's not even trying.
Yeah, that's my original thesis.
Come on, man, try a little bit harder. I'm at a table with 6 other male to female transgendered, and they're talking about. Well, just listen to it. And as television producers, John, you and I know, this is not what the public wants to know. They want to see Caitlyn tucking her junk behind. That's the stuff we want to see. American television public is stupid. They want to know about issues.
You would feel so much more feminine if you were with a guy.
Wait, what?
Yeah. No.
Wait, what?
You would feel more feminine, like you say, if you're with a guy.
Now, when you don't see the video, can you hear how the voice is unchanged? Not a snippet of effort going on here. That's really uncanny.
Who treats you that way? I can appreciate the male form. Okay.
I love to hear you say that. I've never heard you say that before.
Yeah. Oh, you can look at. Yeah, you can appreciate that. It doesn't mean that I would go that. I don't know unless I got there.
Right. I don't know unless I got there. Listen, memo.
It sounds very banal.
Oh, and no one wants to hear this. And then let's just listen to. Then they keep going, and they let some other transgendered woman go off. It's like she's not famous. We want Caitlyn.
And for me, if that was the case, as far as a male-female relationship, I would want to have the right parts.
The parts you feel comfortable with.
What's that?
The parts you'd feel comfortable with.
Yes, and he feels comfortable with.
We both want parts we're comfortable with. What does that even mean? Here, listen to this.
I don't count anything on the future. I don't know where it's all going. Absolutely, I agree.
I think he's sincere. I think that he was put up to this, like we had suggested in a previous show.
Yep.
And he's just faxing it in. And that's why they couldn't let...
he has no opinion on this either. He just has no opinion. That's the problem.
This is why they couldn't give it to Seacrest, because they needed somebody that maybe could snap the whip a little bit. Again, I refer people to the show Unreal if you want to see what's going on in the background.
Yes, very good program.
This is a disaster.
It's a ratings disaster, that's for sure.
Yeah.
This thing could even get canceled. I mean, lost half the audience on the second episode. Yeah, well, we'll see.
Well, those other two shows are the backups, and they can do well. And Seacrest is a modern-day Dick Clark. He knows how to produce stuff that people like.
He does.
He was mentored by Dick Clark.
Yeah.
People that work with him tell me that he is just unbelievably on the go 24/7 with a...
Yeah, what did you tell me? He has half-hour meetings?
He has half-hour meetings with 2 or 3 handlers, and when that meeting hits the click, click, ding, he's out.
Gotta go. Sorry, I got a tranny on the other line.
So he's on to the next meeting or whatever, phone call, and then they got the timer on him, and he's off to the next one, and he just does that all day, and he's just a dynamo.
Well, although our no-agenda transgendered producers are outraged, there's a lot more outrage is needed. This is a freak show, a circus sideshow that is boring.
Boring. Sideshow.
How is it possible?
Boring. It's impossible.
I know how. But these guys are able to do it. They're able to make one of the most exciting stories in American pop culture boring. Okay, let's do some real sparks then. Are you familiar with Congressman Sherman, Democrat?
Yeah.
Where's he from? Where's he from?
I think it's Bruce, isn't it?
I'm not sure. Let me see. Rep Sherman, he is. Yeah, Brad.
Oh, Brad.
Yeah, Brad. From now on, Bruce Sherman. Bradley James, Brad Sherman. He is representative of California.
Yeah, I think it's Southern California.
Yeah, okay. So this guy.
This guy.
So he was talking about and I'm not sure what news channel it was on. He was talking
about San Fernando Valley. He represents the porn industry.
Well, he's a lawyer, so it makes total sense. And he laid down something very interesting, which maybe it was Jake Tapper, who followed up on something he just kind of threw out there offhandedly. And he actually explained the strategy for the vote in the Senate about the Iran deal. And just to recap, this is a treaty and which would last beyond the president's term, and all treaties need to be done with the advice and 2/3 consent of the Senate.
Right.
And here is he actually laid out the strategy, which I thought was not only brilliant, but also nice of him just to hand it out on the public airwaves.
The fact is, I came out against this deal many weeks ago, but I was holding out for a different legislative strategy to combat it. Just last Friday, I decided to go along with the strategy that has been agreed to. And,
which is what?
Yeah, you face a lot of pressure.
I guess it's Fox then.
Yes, Cavuto.
Yeah, Cavuto. And he says, what is the strategy? Thank you, Neil Cavuto.
What's the strategy?
Well, we could have had a resolution of approval, voted it down, and that would never go to the president's desk. And we would show the entire world that Congress had rejected the deal by a large margin. Instead, we're going with a resolution of disapproval. That will go to the president's desk. It will be vetoed. And I hate to say it, but I think that veto will be sustained probably in both houses.
Well, I guess I don't understand. I don't understand the difference. Or rejection is rejection.
Please, I get it.
Yeah, I get it too. But he's dragging it out. That's good.
Rejection. So how more palatable?
The Corker bill In my business, procedure is just as important as substance. A resolution of approval would be a non-binding resolution. It could be voted down by 60, even 70% of the vote, never go to the president's desk. Now, he would still be free to issue waivers of certain U.S. sanctions for the remainder of his term.
Right.
Frankly, I think he's going to do that no matter what Congress
Are you a lawyer,
does.
Congressman?
It's a matter of...
Are you a lawyer?
What?
Are you a lawyer?
I am indeed.
Touche. That's brilliant.
Touche. That's brilliant. It is brilliant.
Why is that a touche?
Because it's a brilliant strategy.
No, why is it touche? Touche, you say to somebody when they've topped you.
Well, he's an idiot. What do you want me to say? I really like this. So they're doing a notice of disapproval, which can then be vetoed, and then it won't look like we voted it down. It'll just go on as planned, and that's the strategy. And he's buying into it.
This is interesting, yeah. I've always been convinced from the get-go that this deal's going through. It's not a horrible deal. It's not a good deal. It's not even. We have to stop this nonsense with these sanctions on these different countries,
which is an act of war.
It's an act of war. The Cuban situation was unconscionable that we did that to the Cuban people for 50 years. We just cut them off,
and we took all their
the two guys running the place.
And we took all their cigars,
but we didn't take enough of them. And there's there's all these other guys that we support that are creeps. Yeah. I mean, it's beyond me. But I mean, there's somebody else pulling the strings, obviously. Whatever shadow government decides that this is good or bad.
The Illuminati.
There's no such thing.
Okay.
And it's like the Bilderbergers.
Yeah, it's them. Yeah. And then I might as well get him out of the way while I'm here. Then Kerry, this clip was passed around a bit. I got the full quote of him. And it was kind of interesting. He was discussing the Iran treaty, but he folded in the TPP and I believe also the TTIP and the TISA into his comment about what would happen if we don't approve this deal with Iran.
U.S. dollar. It's not going to happen overnight, but I'm telling you, there's huge antipathy out there to many. You've seen Putin and you've seen China sort of working together and in the wake of Ukraine.
I think he's talking about the BRICS. That's what he means, but he doesn't really say BRICS.
By the way, this is a second Kerry clip in the show.
I know. I already said that. I'm sorry.
Reaching out, you may have observed the BRICS summit.
Oh, he does say BRICS. I stand corrected.
That took place in Russia recently. The non-aligned countries. There's a big bloc out there, folks, that doesn't just sit around waiting to be told what to do by the United States. And in today's new global marketplace, where there's an extraordinary amount of voracious competition going on, lots of people chafing under the current
chafing. My thighs are chafing, Kerry.
Post-World War II Bretton Woods sort of structure. They feel it doesn't, take them into account. It's not fair. It, gives undue power, et cetera.
Yeah, it doesn't. But if you look at the three treaties that are on the books, TPP for the Asian pivot, TTIP for the European Union, and TISA, which is 52 other countries, guess who's not in any of those treaties? Don't worry, I'll tell you. Brazil, Russia, India, and China.
So it's a growing movement. It's not about to take blossom tomorrow, but I'm telling you, if we wind up sanctioning our own allies with whom we're trying to negotiate the Transatlantic Trade Investment Partnership, the TTIP, you can imagine what the response is going to be. What happens when we walk into them and say, well, we got to tighten down on Russia because of Ukraine? They're still not moving with respect to the elections and the full implementation of Minsk. I mean, the complications that will grow out of that are enormous. And there will be an increase in this notion that there ought to be a different reserve currency because the United States is misbehaving and not, in fact, living by the agreements that it negotiates itself.
Mm-hmm.
Meh.
Meh, but he's threatening.
No, I'm saying meh because I heard this when he said it before the clip, and it's like this is nonsense. He's making stuff up. I mean, we're not going to start sanctioning the UK because they're.
That's that's not what he's saying.
Well, that's what he's saying.
He's saying it in a backwards way. We are currently sanctioning the EU, You cannot say we forced the EU into sanctions. They're destroying tomatoes. They're throwing stuff away. Technically, they're really not, because they just put a turkey sticker on it and ship it off anyway. But Russia's making a big stink about, we don't want no vegetables, no produce from the EU. So of course it's sanctioning them. The sanctions are actually on the EU more than Russia.
That's yeah. I think we've observed that when it first came out, and that's what they said was going to happen, and that's actually what happened. And there's all kinds of people throwing away apples because of it.
And I have a follow-up to this.
The Russians, by the way, we're watching enough RT. The Russians aren't totally, the Russian farmers in particular are quite happy with this, because they're making inroads in their own supermarkets with their own cheeses, their own milk, their own, vegetables, their own everything.
Do they have their own kale?
Not yet.
They should.
Did you see the kale quiz?
No.
Oh, jeez.
Is this something we need to take?
So the Russian farmers are actually benefiting from this, and it's getting them a leg up, because they're all going to go out of business. This is reminding me of what's going on in France, but the Russians aren't quite as about the milk.
Yeah.
And the Dutch and the German.
The Dutch with their tomatoes, and it's a big problem.
Yeah,
I have a follow-up. The follow-up, for once, I got something from WikiLeaks that I thought was worthwhile playing. I'm skeptical of WikiLeaks. I'm skeptical of Assange. And Assange needs a haircut. He needs to cut his hair. He needs to shave his beard. It's no longer a good look.
I think they're working on sneaking him out.
Well, WikiLeaks has offered a $100,000 reward for anyone who can deliver the documents as it pertains to TTIP, the secret trade agreements. And in this short clip, Assange explains what is going on with this trifecta.
The basic idea, which comes across from reading US strategy papers, is the construction of a new grand enclosure. And to put inside this grand enclosure, the United States, 51 other countries, 1.6 billion people, and 2/3 of global GDP, to integrate Latin America away from Brazil and towards the United States, to integrate Southeast Asia away from China and towards the United States, and to integrate Western Europe, pulling it away from Eurasia as a whole and towards the Atlantic.
Of the three big T's, WikiLeaks has revealed 4 chapters of the TPP, which affects 12 countries in the Americas and Southeast Asia. We also obtained and released the core text of TISA, which affects 52 countries, including the EU. But nearly all of TTIP is still secret. When signed, TTIP will cover half of global GDP and will affect every European member state. Yet EU parliamentarians have serious restrictions in accessing the proposed agreement.
The whole video is worth watching. It's in the show notes, of course, at 747.noagendanotes.com. Yes?
I think you brought an interesting point up. That would explain, if what you say, and I believe this probably is the case, although I think it's a pretty bold idea to cut Russia, India, China, and Brazil out of anything.
That's the idea.
These are huge operations.
And these 3 T's, it's almost like it goes back to the conspiracy theory of the Trilateral Commission. You bring the 3 pieces together, but that's really what it is. It's Eurasia, it's South America, it's Europe, and we're leaving the BRICS out of it. And really, the reason why we can't see these documents is very simple, because American companies will have the right to sue governments over their legislation that screws up their business. And I believe it's already happened with Egypt. It's happened with a couple other Middle Eastern countries. And that's really what this is about, and why it's all kept secret. And it'll be about.
I think also it's possible that the strategies that are just kind of described there by Assange and you are probably outlined very accurately in the documents, that it does not need distribution. In other words, if you're strategizing to screw over, forget all this stuff. I mean, I think the corporate thing probably has got a lot to do with the protests and the griping. But if you're out to screw over the 4 of the largest countries in the world and just cut them out,
Yeah.
Including India, which is supposed to be, we're supposed to be fairly friendly with. And the strategy is outlined in its entirety. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to keep that a secret.
Yeah. And it's also about pharmaceuticals, and I'm all in on it.
Pharmaceutical things.
I don't see why anyone has a problem. Go America. Screw y'all. Go America.
Well, the pharmaceutical problem, I would say that if the pharmaceutical thing in and of itself, because it's such an outrageous scam being landed on the American public in their lap. Mm-hmm. I bitch about this constantly. And of course, you can't get anything from the big news networks about any of this, because if you watch, and again, like I said, I'm watching all these three broadcasts. They're all, at least 50 to 80% of the advertisements are for screwball drugs. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them, we used to play these commercials, but a lot of these, they're coming along now are just off the wall. I mean, I don't know I've never heard of these drugs. I don't know who would use them.
Do they have any cool side effects, like anal leakage or anything like that?
They all cause anal leakage. But it's just for everything, for a sore elbow, for a constant.
I don't. The one that kills me is the one for blind people.
Oh, I haven't seen this one.
Yeah, you have. Hold on, medication, and I'm because it's advertised on television. Not that blind people don't listen to television. It's called. It's for sleep disorder that occurs in blind people. But I think it's being marketed to sighted people. And we have a reasonable amount of vision-challenged, gooky-eyed listeners. Let me see. Tazimelteon. There's a pharmaceutical name for it.
I have no idea. I've never heard of this.
Oh, I see these all the time. You see these commercials. Maybe the chat room will know. You see these commercials and then you say, I was suffering from, it happens in blind people. And it's prime time. I see it all. I can't believe you missed this.
Well,
what is the name of this drug?
I do have a DVR that fast forwards.
Yeah. Through the commercials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll probably stop and listen to the commercials.
Oh, here it is. It's circadian rhythm sleep disorder.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Circadian rhythm, really?
Yes.
Yeah,
circadian rhythm.
That's your normal day as a circadian. So
this is why I'm
day for a human is 25 hours.
This is why I'm suspecting that this is a scam and that it's being marketed to sighted people.
Huh.
It's probably just
if you can't go to sleep, read a book.
It's probably just a sleeping pill, like a really, really good one.
Who needs it?
Yeah, it's because this is more like shift disorder, I guess. Circadian rhythm.
Again,
yeah.
I worked shift work for 2 years.
Yeah, we've had this type of medication.
I can talk about it anytime you want.
Circadian rhythm disorder. Well, be on the lookout for it. And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage and say, in the morning to you, John C., where the C stands for circadian rhythm.
Well, in the morning to you, Adam Curry. Also in the morning to all ships and sea boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
Yeah, I forgot to say Dvorak. And in the morning to the chat room, noagendastream.com. Everybody there checking in, listening up, doing all their business as usual. We want to thank Nick the Rat for the fabulous artwork we discussed earlier. He did that at the very last minute. This was a prediction by... Oh, I'm sorry. We don't know exactly who.
We'll have to look it up.
We have to look up who predicted that we would see a coupling, a linking of Donald Trump to North Korea. And not only were we spot on, but Nick nailed it. NoAgendaArtGenerator.com is where you can see all the submissions. Submit your own artwork, and we need as much as we can get. It's a proven strategy for more support, more listeners when we have great album art, and we appreciate the work of all the artists. And thank you, Nick.
One of our producers pointed out that somebody stole the idea.
I looked at the link and I really didn't see it.
Oh, I actually may have looked in and didn't see it either. I just thought I'd point it out. But we do have a few people to thank for show 747, the Boeing 747 episode. We haven't talked about the jet at all. That jet first flew in 1977, and we haven't been able to top it.
Nice.
Well, actually, we topped it with that supersonic thing, and then they scrapped it.
Really? Was it 77? I can remember earlier than that when maybe they were just talking about it. I remember as a kid.
Maybe it was 67.
I think it was 6. I remember as a kid around 1970.
Yeah, maybe it was 67. Let's take a look.
Yeah, I think so. But
you might be right.
Around 1970, I distinctly remember sitting in Miss Carlsted's class, 3rd grade, and drawing a 747 jet. And I remember put 747 on the tail. And why I remember this, I don't know. It must be the work I'm doing with my therapist. Oh, my childhood memories are coming back.
1968.
Yeah, there you go.
Its first flight was 1969, February 9th.
So this was the day.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Does anybody else see that it's ridiculous?
What?
That it's still one of the best planes you can fly, and it's just thing is 50 years old?
Yeah. With technology that we use going to the moon.
Yeah, there.
Say no more.
Yeah,
haven't been back to the moon either.
Well, we're still flying this jet.
Yeah, it's a good product, outstanding,
it's a great product, and they've done a great job of it. But they just still, you can hardly get on a 747. I remember when in the olden days when you could fly on People Air, I think was the name of it.
People Express.
You get a big 747 to fly from San Francisco to New York. It was like $50.
Yeah,
I think I'm right. I think
good
it was
times.
$50.
Good times.
You would go on the thing. It was just cargo. It was just, you had to sit on the floor, and then they sold food, which was they have to buy food. All the planes do this now. I just and then the big airlines shut them down. It's a conspiracy.
Okay, let's get back to our producer,
Alexander Burr. Now, Alexander Burr, who's would be an Insta-Knight if he's not a Knight already, gave us a 11177, $1,111.77, and he's in Quebec, Laval. And he's left 2 emails and said my PayPal, his email, his real email, and then ITM and email to follow. There's no email to follow. Now, he may have, I sent him a note saying, hey, where's your email to follow? And I haven't heard back.
That's disappointing.
Well, let me take a quick look because I just sent him the thing, nothing.
Because it was 111177, so I'm very curious what
there's some rationale. We know this. But there's nothing from him here. So when he sends his note in, we'll read it next show or whenever, if he cares. He seems to be he makes surfboards or something. I think he's...
Maybe let me just take a quick look, see if I found anything from him.
Found it. Alexander. No, just because it just came in this morning because I sent him a note. Okay, here we go. This is my birthday donation, 111177, like the numbers you might too. I like the numbers you might too. Canadian exchange rate is rough right now. Listening since, so in other words, that number's a fluke.
Got it.
Listening since the early 400s, I bought over from Twit by John. Raising 3 human resources, got dumped by their mom last year, doing better now. Just sold some real estate and have been planning to donate when the sale finalized. Job Karma, please. With a mashup of jingles of your choice, I'll be Sir Chewy Knight of the Snowboarders. Thank you for your courage.
Okay. What jingles do we want?
You make sure to write him down there so we don't have to Black Knight him.
Oh, hold on a second. He's not on the list? Yeah, he's on the list.
No, because how would he be?
I don't know. I saw something on the list. Let me see.
Sir Chewy Knight.
Oh, okay. What is his title again?
Sir Chewy Knight of the Snowboarders. So I guess he looks like a giant Chewy, that character in Star Wars.
Or he looks like Chewy, Chui.
Well, he's got it written down as Chewy.
Okay, then he's like Star Wars Chewy. Okay, got it. All right, good. Well, this is fantastic. Thank you.
That came in at the last minute.
Thank you. We will look forward to the ceremony.
Onward.
Yeah, he wants Jobs Karma and 2 jingles of our choosing. I will choose 2. Okay?
Okay.
Obama, Ebola, as the sun grows, Ebola's gonna kill us all. Ow! ISIS.
We will follow them to the gates of hell.
ISIS. I feel good.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got karma.
Alrighty.
Do you remember when Pelosi said that?
Years ago.
Yeah, it was years ago. Under what circumstances? Remember? Okay, you don't.
No.
It was the cap and trade bill that was passed by the House that was like 10,000 pages. when the Democrats were running the House, and they figured, and that's when one of your buddy there in Texas, that Gomer, comes out and says crap and trade.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, the whole thing was squashed by the Senate, so it never happened. So they wrote this 10,000-page bill about cap and trade and how we're going to all have to bear it down, and it just never went anywhere, even though I think they even had the Senate at the time. Sir Adam Kowalewski in Würzburg, Deutschland, 747. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
All embrace me. It's time to rule at last. Long enough I've been waiting to sit upon my throne of Poland. I take what's already mine, law.
Nice.
My claim is undisputed. No allegiances. I swear no oath. Crowned by God, not by church, as my power is divine. Hail, Sir Adam, Baron of Poland.
Hail.
So make a note that he's a baron now, I guess.
Okay, let me write that down.
P.S. Fear is freedom would be a suitable jingle right now. Could you also play that crazy sergeant with the air conditioning is broken?
What is that?
Thanks, and see you soon, Sir Adam.
What is that?
The sergeant with the air conditioning is broken. Man, I have no idea.
I really don't remember that. Well, let us know which one you mean. I got the other one for you.
Fear is freedom. Subjugation is liberation. Contradiction is truth. Those are the facts of this world. And you will all surrender to them. You pigs in human clothing!
You've got karma.
Trevor Baxter in Aurora, Indiana, came in with $333.33, and he will be the third of our executive producers for show 747. Hi, John and Adam. He writes, nice fabric. Every show I have produced.
Nice fabric.
Nice fabric. Anyway, if anybody acts funny after we say that, give us a call. Every show I have produced has been an outstanding product.
I love how he says that. Every show I have produced has been an outstanding product. Yes, take that ownership. Take that ownership. Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, hopefully we'll get up to speed on this show. I can only trust this trend will continue. You can try and get the slaves out of sleep with a round of multiculti in the mornings for all our brothers and sisters out there. Would love some karma. Keep it up. Love you guys.
He wants multiculti?
I don't know what multiculti in the mornings.
Oh, okay. I have that. Let me see. I had another one somewhere. Yes. Here we go. Okay. With the karma at the end, we'll do that.
In the morning.
Got karma.
Oh, that was good.
Mm-hmm, thank you. Trying to get the show back on track, John. I don't want you to complain.
That was a winner.
Okay,
we're back on track.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've dropped down to our associate executive producers with the O'Malley family coming in with $211.20 from St. Paul, Minnesota nuts. This is a 4X5280. So each member of my family can be part of the Mile High Club. Please give us. We have a lot of Mile High Club joiners, by the way. The second part of the show is going to be a long read. Please give a shout out to my girls, Charlotte and Delilah. They love hearing their names on the best podcast in the universe. Can you also give some back-to-school karma for the girls and my wife, Jen, who will be starting grad school the same day the girls go back to school? The karma is needed for good grades and to help fend off the slave brainwashing. Would you also give a welcome to Jim Bryston,
Jim,
who I recently punched in the mouth and will hopefully become a permanent member of the NA family?
Hail, Jim.
Lastly, can I request the following jingles? ISIS in America,
okay.
Shape-Shifting Jew, and Little Girl Yay. We, O'Malleys, want to thank you both for your courage and providing the valuable entertainment and analysis that you do. Thank you, Don, Jen, Charlotte, and Delilah O'Malley. St. Paul, Minnesota nuts.
Ow! ISIS.
We will follow them to the gates of hell.
ISIS. I feel good. Roll up for the magical shape-shifting Jews. Step right this way. Roll up for the shape-shifting Jews. Roll up.
You've got karma.
Von Glitchka in Salem, Oregon, $210. My friends still think you guys are nuts.
Okay.
I find that distressing.
Yeah.
Our analysis is the best.
Yeah.
How can we be nuts? But I like you, so keep being nutty. My friends can just keep sucking down the pablum being spoon-fed to them by the mainstream weasels. As for me and my house, we'll keep hitting people in the mouth. Boom shakalaka.
Bingo, boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, 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 shakalaka, boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka.
Sir Stephen or Stephen Dean in Oswego, Illinois, 20560. Got a birthday, some donations for you, seeing how I'm not as nightly as I should be. What can I say? Times are tough. $52.80 for Stephen's Mile High membership. $52.80 for Heather's, since we probably should join the club together. $100 for the birthday call. $100. I never thought about going solo at the Mile High Club.
Hey, wait a minute. I got that a long time ago. If you can be solo with the Mile High Club, then yeah, of course. Hasn't everybody jerked off in the bathroom?
No, I haven't. I think you're preoccupied. $100 for a birthday call for me on 8/13/20560 total through PayPal. I don't need the big jingle deal. Just pick one, and I'm happy.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing. Unicorns! Yay!
You've got karma.
Unicorns.
I want to remind everybody, unicorns.grumpyradio.com. I'm keeping track of the unicorn phenomena.
Russell Hickey in Nashville, Tennessee, $200. Looked and looked and looked. No, used all his emails and his name, and they can't find out. So I'm assuming, just gave us $200 because he's a nice guy. So you throw some karma his way, and maybe that will be a good thing.
You've got karma.
And that's the last one, right?
That'll be the last one. This is for show 747. We do have a member of the 747 Club and an Insta night at the same time. So I want to thank all these folks and want to remind everybody.
We actually have two. We have Sir Michael Mugler. I wrote it down. The system works. You'll recall he made a donation for the 747 Club. He made it 3 shows early.
Yes.
I do not encourage this behavior because it's very hard for us to track this.
The likelihood of this happening is with accuracy, and I will give Adam full kudos for this because I felt obliged to maintain this information. But now looking around my desk, I see no evidence of it. Yes, try not to do that.
Okay. And we have a PR mention. We got pictures in from the Vegas 2015 Black Hat DEF CON LLCIO meetup. And you can find it at vegas2015.noagendanotes.com. We have Sir Ramsey Kane, took some pictures. He said, yeah, they're not great, but I figured, why don't we just put together a nice little web page? And we could do more of these if you have a meetup. So vegas2015.noagendanotes.com. Take a look, John. You'll probably like it.
We should probably set up something so everyone could, like, I don't know what, a wiki maybe?
Oh, okay. Another thing.
I know you. Wiki, I hate.
No, I don't hate wikis. It's just, another thing that'll be managed and...
you're right.
You know what happens.
Am I saying? Just tell me to stop.
Stop.
Dvorak.org/NA.
But we don't want you to stop in case you're out there doing the important work of propagating the formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Shut up, slave.
Shut up, slave. Shut up, slaves. Be quiet.
Right.
Be quiet.
Here's a good clip. They were going over. Hillary is in the news almost as much as Trump, but for being a bonehead failure. And I'll tell you this: the network news shows, all 3 of them, went after her about the thing in very different ways. In fact, we can listen to a few of them. NBC, everyone. I'll just generalize. All the networks are against Hillary. There's no doubt about it.
And this is new.
Yes. But this may be part of that. Now, I'm going to throw way back when you did like the first Hot Pockets tour. You had floated around the East Coast in Spookland.
Yes, in Virginia, Maryland, yes.
Yeah, that area, Spookland.
Yeah.
And you had run into a number of our producers who were somehow connected to the government at levels that are up there enough so that they maybe don't run things, but they are part of the system.
They are definitely part of the system and have shared interesting information with us.
And they told you back then, and I remember this because I've brought it up a couple of times on the show, that there's no way Hillary's going to get in.
Because of the Secret
Service and other people are just not going to let it happen.
Yeah.
If she gets close to winning, they're going to sink her. There's no way she's going to make it, which is part of the reason my premise about Elizabeth Warren sneaking in at the last minute. That's how it came about, partly. And I maintain that. I still maintain Hillary's not going to get in. But I base again on that. And then when I start seeing the 3 networks go after her, and they're all gone after her in different ways, the network that I think is really going after her, and I'm going to ask you to guess again, which one?
Which one is really going after her?
I think they're going after her to the point where they're photoshopping her face, even with that nice new hairdo, to make her look uglier than crap.
Let me see. So ABC is all in with the Obamas. That is possible. NBC. I'm going to stick with ABC.
No.
Oh, damn it.
Sorry, you should have stuck with your original thinking, CBS.
Oh, crap.
CBS, here they do this report. Do I have the CBS? I think I have the CBS report on her. For one thing, they should do this report on her and her emails. There it is, Clinton emails on CBS. Play it after I'm finished.
Okay.
They go after her, but throughout the report, every photo, I didn't even know there were this many of them, but they went from still shot to still shot to still shot. There must have been 50 of them. Every shot of her holding her phone, looking at it, and that's it. She's never looking up. She's not doing it. She's just looking at her phone.
Now, is it the BlackBerry?
No, there's this blue phone that she has a lot.
Okay, that's the blue phone. Yeah, that's the private
blue phone. And and they just show shot after shot after shot, and all she's doing is everyone else is around doing normal things, and she's glued to this phone. And I've never seen half of these photos. I've seen the one where she's, looking down at her phone. Everyone's seen it. But she's sitting there at some hearing or something. She's looking at her phone. Right. And then they show a quote from her making the excuse, and they zoom in a picture of her with the new hairdo. So it's a recent shot, and it is it's like over HDR, so it exaggerates the lines in her face. I know how to do this. They exaggerate the lines, and I know, in fact, you could just push a button and this happens. The lines are exaggerated, and then they put an overlay, which I believe is part of the background of where they bring out the text. And the overlay is it's like mud or something, and it's right on her face, so she looks really horrible. So CBS, and I've said this, and I'm going to say it again, and I've said it in the newsletters. You can tell people's perspective by the photos they use. I've tweeted.
Of course. Look at Donald Trump, though, always with his mouth crazy, with his hair crazy.
CNN is going after Trump. You can tell by the photos they're using. These are mid shots. These are like if you take a Nikon, one of these big cameras, and you have it on 7 shots a second, and you push it up there, and they're all doing this. That's why you hear all those shutters, and you hear.
Yeah, you always get it's spray and pray. You always get something kooky.
Yeah, in the middle, one eye's closed.
Or that's like me. If anyone asks me to take a selfie, I always get that kooky photo. I'm uncannily good at that.
You have the one shot look.
Yeah, that's right.
I take any woman, put her right next to you, same thing. You couldn't tell the difference. Well, here's CBS giving it to her.
I vote. But with the FBI now reviewing the security of her email system, Clinton changed course, agreeing to turn over to the Justice Department the entire server and a thumb drive containing copies of the emails. Clinton used the private system for all her email, but she has repeatedly denied she used it to send or receive classified information, which can only be transmitted across secure government networks.
I am confident that I never sent nor received any information that was classified at the time it was sent and received.
But the Inspector General for the Intelligence Community found in a limited review of 40 emails that at least 4 contained classified information when they were generated and should never have been transmitted via an unclassified personal system. Yesterday, the State Department said the Inspector General determined that 2 of those 4 emails should be upgraded to the top secret level. That's one of the highest levels of classification.
Now, the emails were not marked as classified, but Scott, not all classified information is stamped classified, and State Department employees are trained to recognize that kind of highly sensitive information and not discuss it outside of classified areas.
Jan Crawford reporting for us this evening. Jan, thank you. Republican
Jan.
presidential.
Okay. Was there something left on that clip? Do I need to play
No. Every one of these networks did the same thing.
Before you move on, I want to thank you once again for subscribing me to the Hillary Clinton email list. I know we've discussed this. You subscribed me as Mimi. Very funny. So I just get these emails. Mimi. And this is the one that came in beginning of the week. Mimi, you might hear some news over the next few days about Hillary Clinton's emails. Because you are an important part of this team, we wanted to take a few minutes to talk through the facts. We need to help make sure they get out there. There's a lot of misinformation, so bear with us. The truth matters on this. And then they go through a whole bunch of blah, blah, blah. At the end, the bottom line, listen to this. Look, comma, Mimi, comma. Nice personalization. Look, Mimi. This kind of nonsense comes with the territory of running for president. We know it, Hillary knows it, and we expect it to continue from now until Election Day. It's okay. We'll be ready. We have the facts, our principles, and you on our side, Mimi. And it's vital that you read and absorb the real story so you know what to say next time you hear about this around the dinner table or the water cooler. So they're on the defensive.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
And they should be. Mm-hmm. So let's go to NBC. Now, NBC, everybody, by the way, CBS, I cut that's just kind of just the report. There was a whole bunch of stuff before that. But only CBS mentioned that this was that the top secret emails was from a sample of 40.
Mm. Oh,
everybody else
so there could be much more.
Made it sound like, it's out of 50,000 they found 2.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yes. So CBS said that the Inspector General from the intelligence group found 10% out of 40 that were secret, and 2 of those were top secret. Everybody else nobody else mentions the 40, and nobody else mentions the 4. They all just say 2. Although, so I think CBS is the one really going after her. The other ones are going after her, though, and none of the reports have been flattering, and they all do the same thing. The formula is, let's talk about Hillary, let's talk about how she's in trouble, let's talk about Bernie Sanders going to beat her in New Hampshire.
Here at home, Hillary Clinton's campaign is in damage control mode this evening as the FBI takes possession of her private email server, the source of so much controversy, and we learned some of the emails in that server.
Did he say controversy? I think he dropped his R.
He might have.
FBI takes possession of her private email server, the source of so much controversy. And
Controversy. Prince is calling. He wants to remix his song.
We learned some of the emails in that server contain top secret messages. NBC's Andrea Mitchell has the latest.
Hillary Clinton secluded today after agreeing to turn over her private email server, something she had vowed never to do.
The server contains personal communications from my husband and me, and
that's what we want to see. Hello, subpoena that shit immediately. Like, you better stop going out with that fucking bimbo. She's mine.
I believe I have met all of my responsibilities, and the server will remain private.
I wanted to mention something. When we looked into this, all of her emails, the MX record was directed towards a company in Colorado. The emails were going through their system, which stops spam. That's pretty much, they're like a spam and virus detection company. So I'm going to just presume that there is a full copy of everything. They may not have used that as an SMTP server, but I'm thinking they probably did. That's where that's what has to be subpoenaed, is the stuff over there. They have this, there's a dude named Ben somewhere who has this stuff archived.
I agree.
Her lawyer, David Kendall, also turning over 2 thumb drives containing copies of emails. Why now? The campaign says because the FBI is investigating the security of her private email system after an inspector general found 2 emails with top secret information and code words indicating it came from satellite intelligence, contrary to Clinton's denials.
That I am confident that I never sent nor received any information that was classified at the time it was sent and received.
House Republicans say they've been told Clinton deleted more than 30,000 emails and her server was wiped clean. So will the FBI find anything?
Taking affirmative steps to actually wipe a server clean denotes or can denote a desire or a willingness or an intention to conceal far beyond simply just deleting something.
In damage control mode, the campaign...
And I got to point out that most of these systems... and I think I recall from looking at the Colorado company, they use an email system, Postfix, and by default, it saves a backup of the SQL server, because all of these systems now have a SQL server, not all, but most of them have a SQL server on the back end that stores all email coming in a database, and it makes automatic backups of these. This information, why is anyone buying into the... Oh, we just erased the server. First of all, you don't erase a server. Maybe a disk, but did you erase all of them? No, I don't think so at all. So this is bullshit.
Jane emailed supporters today, reassuring them that she is not under investigation and that there's absolutely no criminal inquiry into Hillary's email or email server.
That's my Mimi email.
This is the criminal... The FBI was asked about this by one of the reporters on one of the networks, and I don't have the specifics, but the FBI guy said, we don't all investigations are criminal. What are we investigating for if it's not a criminal investigation? All of our investigations are criminal. If we're investigating for reasons.
Criminal activity, yes.
What else would we be doing? What do we just?
Well, this is Andrea Mitchell. Andrea Mitchell is all in on Hillary. Or at least whatever.
Well, that's why I think she's protecting her a little bit with this report, but she's not doing a very good job of it. But the FBI thing is nonsense. If they say the FBI, what, they just fooling around? What do you guys want to do tonight? I don't know. Let's investigate the emails.
Let's go look at that server. I don't think I clipped it. Somewhere else, it was some MSNBC Yahoo, and she said, Hillary's not under investigation. Just her actions are. Which is a little bit the same.
Oh, you missed the clip.
I know.
That was a gem.
I'm an idiot.
All right, let her finish.
Oh. But it's turning into a political nightmare.
Well, it's drip, drip, drip. I would have thought that our campaign advisors would have said, let's disclose everything.
All this as Democratic rival Bernie Sanders is drawing huge crowds. And in a new poll today, for the first time leads Clinton by 7 points in New Hampshire.
Uh-huh.
Now, there's a funny thing about Bernie Sanders and the way the media is portraying him with his huge crowds.
Mm-hmm.
They never mention that Trump has huge crowds. Trump does.
Why would you do that?
Well, I mean, if you're going to make, what is the point? It's like, oh, Bernie Sanders has got 27,000 people, and Hillary's only got 5. They're making a big deal about his huge crowds, but they make a big deal about nobody else's huge crowds.
Well,
they're pushing Sanders.
Do you think?
Which is going to be funny. I don't want to belabor this, but we'll play one more.
Okay.
This is the ABC version of the exact same story. ABC Clinton server, take plus more. There's a long clip. You can cut it off when you feel like it.
Back here at home tonight, the race for 2016 and the firestorm growing for Hillary Clinton tonight. Mrs. Clinton now reversing course, turning over that home server after insisting she would not. ABC's Jonathan Karl tonight.
It's the email server Hillary Clinton kept here at her home in Chappaqua, New York.
Not true.
For months, she has flatly refused to turn it over.
I have met all of my responsibilities, and the server will remain private.
But now, a reversal. Clinton has agreed to turn that server over to the Justice Department, which is investigating whether classified information in her emails has been properly secured. ABC News has learned that at least 2 of Clinton's private emails included information now classified as top secret. Mrs. Clinton once denied sending any classified information whatsoever, but listen closely to what she says now.
That I am confident that I never sent nor received any information that was classified.
Yeah, okay.
Now, that clip, by the way, that's the only commonality to all 3 reports, is her saying she doesn't think she did, and it was not at the time. It wasn't. But they go on and on, do the same thing, and they got set. They have a longer piece about Sanders at the end of their report. They go on and on about how this guy's kicking her ass.
Well, I'd like to kind of hook into this for a minute, if you don't mind, with another candidate.
I think I'm done.
Okay. Well, we're going to eventually. This will end up with Donald Trump. We can't help that. But he's such a phenomenal force. It's just beautiful to deconstruct everything. Silicon Valley guy, professor who I met at the Queen's Palace. When I was invited to go to the Buckingham Palace.
Meet the Queen.
I got to meet the Queen, yes. I was requested to go meet the Queen, and I did meet the Queen. I looked her straight in the eye when I shook her hand and saw nothing. Empty vessels.
I met Bobby Kennedy and saw the same thing.
Yeah, that's all elites. Larry Lessig is the man behind the Creative Commons. He's a professor. And he has an idea.
Wait a minute. Lessig was at the meeting of the Queen?
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew. You never mentioned his name.
Yeah, it was him, and who's the other guy? Tim Berners-Lee was there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, go on.
So Larry Lessig, who I've had contact with because I've promoted not Common Core. What's the copyright?
Yeah, I know.
Creative Commons copyright. So a nice guy, but he has an idea that he's going to be the referendum candidate, and with this, he very obviously points at who should be winning.
We need a campaign that's more than yet another partisan squabble. We need a campaign for a referendum that speaks our mandate clearly, ends this inequality and corruption, give us a government free from the money, give us a Congress free to lead.
So he wants a campaign reform and money reform and how it all flows through Congress. He's pretty much using the Donald Trump message, only he's going about it in the typical way that will never even get out of the starting gate.
I know about this. I'm surprised it gets any play at all.
So here's the idea we're going to test. A referendum president. A candidate who runs for president making a single promise that if elected, he would serve as long as it takes, but only as long as it takes, to pass fundamental reform to finally achieve citizen equality. Once that reform is passed, this president would step down, and the elected vice president would become president to fill out his term. The candidate is the referendum. The campaign is for that referendum. So I am asking you to help me crowdfund a campaign for a referendum president so we can give the next extraordinary president, whether Hillary or Bernie or Joe or someone else.
And the someone else, they show what's his face on the screen? What's her face? Warren, Elizabeth.
A Congress that can represent us and a Congress that is free to lead.
Okay. No, that's not going to work. Especially not with that music. Who produced that for you, Lawrence?
Well, I ran into him at an event here in the city recently talking about his politics. Yeah. And he says, he's fighting corruption.
No, he's fighting global warming. The whole thing is filled with global warming.
He's all in on all that stuff. But he was going on and on about corruption and to an extreme. And I got out of him that his idea of corruption is this campaign finance stuff. That's corruption. Yeah. Koch brothers. Yeah. When he doesn't even think about any of the, the kind of corruption that goes on with false reports, the bull crap that comes out of Congress, 10,000-page documents,
investments on insider information, which are hidden from the public in the basement.
Yeah, all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. None of that. Everything is campaign finance. And I do not understand anybody with any intelligence at all, even though I've talked right to people's faces about this, how they cannot see the obviosity.
Nice word. Very good. Obviosity. Yes.
The obviosity of the fact that the media, which really controls the thought processes of the American public, are not buying into this because, as you reported that one time a couple of years ago when CBS, after the past elections, reported their quarterly earnings and credited the huge profits to all the campaign money that came into them.
You can read it in Adweek. You can read the money. You can see
the
it
money's
right there.
So the media that's getting the money that, all these billions is going right straight to
They're not going to promote that going away.
They're not going to promote it at all. If it got too close to actually happening, they'd find some way to blast it. There's no way this is going to happen. They want more money in their pockets. And who's to blame them?
Yeah.
But no, nobody sees that. And they all, everybody that talks about campaign finance reform, especially politicians, are just giving lip service. Lip service, it's just bull crap to assuage the voters. It's bull crap. They know it's bull crap.
So I figured out Bernie Sanders' appeal. It was not that hard to figure out. And this came to me when he was speaking in front of a large group of nurses. Now, nurses, this is actually a pretty tough profession. And to become any kind of nurse making any kind of money, you have to have at least a bachelor's in a number of areas, and if you want to go on to be I forget what it's called. After registered nurse, you have something else. You have I can't remember the term. You have to have a master's, and the way it works is nurses work their crazy shifts, and then in off hours, whenever they can, they either it's DeVry or it's University of Arizona or any of these universities that you can earn a degree over the internet. They have to do this in their spare time, and it costs a lot of money. Of course, you can get this financed through student loans, and so this is why everyone is all jacked up on Bernie. Is he's pretty much saying, I want to make college free and get rid of your loans, and it's insane that you should have to go through this at all. You want to hear the clip?
Yeah.
We need to make it a national priority to work together to train more nurses. Yeah, you're right. And that is exactly what I intend to do.
And by the way, Bernie is such an idiot because the entire Affordable Care Act, I should say, Obamacare, is predicated on removing doctors, getting rid of them.
It makes no sense to me that when we need nurses, we need doctors, we need dentists.
No, we don't.
We need more people involved in healthcare, that when people leave school for the crime of wanting to be involved in healthcare, they have enormous debts. That makes no sense.
That's a good message. I think it makes, he's right on.
That's one of his primary messages. He's a populist.
Yes, he's extreme populist. We'll continue.
And that is why I work to triple funding for the National Health Service Corps for those nurses and doctors who are going to work in underserved areas.
Woo! Oh, Bernie!
And that is why, as Roseanne mentioned, we have legislation in that I will fight to implement as president that will make every public college and university in America tuition free.
There you go. That's why all the kids are jacked up on him.
Yeah, they are. And of course, the message that he has from my study of it is really not that much different than Elizabeth Warren's. And so she comes into the race a little later. He's a crank, and he's going to be pushed aside by her. And the Democrats just desperately want to elect a woman, so the first woman president will be a Democrat. Now that you see Carly Fiorina kind of over there in the corner, maybe trying to make a move on this idea of being the first, because everything's got to be the first. Like they got the first black guy before any Republican black guy could get up there. And now they got to get the first woman in there. It's just a game. So Elizabeth Warren, that's why they figured Hillary's going to be a shoo-in, and she's falling apart. She stinks. She's no good.
No, she's no good.
And so they're going to push Warren in at the last minute.
She needs an out, though. What is her out going to be? What is Clinton's out? What is her?
I don't think we've seen it yet.
Do you think? Can we come up with a couple of scenarios?
I think she's going to blow up.
But you know what? You know what could happen here? It could be the reverse of what we thought. She could get out of it because Bill dies.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
How about that? It can go both ways.
That would be right. Yeah,
she's so distraught, and then people would love her, and they'd be sad for her, and it would be great.
Right, it would get all this attention away from her. That's interesting.
So that could, but it could go either way. It could go either way. It could. Here's how I would play it. So we know we have Bill. Bill's all rigged up. He's good to go. We've got
he's got a bomb in him.
Yeah, he's. We can hit the pacemaker. Something can. It's not hard. And
He knows.
And he knows it, yeah.
He's not an idiot.
Yeah, and we know it's going to look good on his resume. It'll be the final entry, but it's going to look good on his resume. It'll leave his legacy. And Hillary can play it two ways. She might get the swing sympathy vote. Everyone's all, well, let's not go too hard on this. She goes, I'm going to do this for Bill. Or she says, I'm so distraught, I can't function. But yeah, I can bail out. So either way, our prediction is still looking good.
Nobody in any other show in the world discusses this particular topic the way we
because that show would end the minute they did that.
Well, yeah, because that's why we need donations to continue this sort of thought process.
Mm-hmm.
Just to remind people out there, it's not that we're, there's certain things you're just not going to get anywhere else ever and under any circumstances. Even the seed guy is not going to talk about that.
Now, I'll lead you into Trump with him discussing Bernie Sanders as being not presidential material whatsoever.
I would never give up my microphone. I thought that was disgusting.
He's talking about the Black Lives Matter girls who just took over.
Yeah,
Yeah, we played the bit on the show.
Yeah.
That showed such weakness. The way he was taken away by two young women, the microphone, they just took the whole place over. And the audience, which liked him, they were him. They're saying, what's going on? How can this happen? That will never happen with me. I don't know if I'll do the fighting myself or if other people will. But that was a disgrace. The way I felt badly for him. But it showed that he's weak. You know what? He's getting the biggest crowds, and I'm getting the biggest crowds. We're the two getting the crowds. But believe me, that's not going to happen to Trump.
I love it when he does a third person on himself.
Yeah, he doesn't do it that often.
But it's effective. It's effective. This guy I'm so in love with him.
Now, the way you
have a man crush.
Yeah, you do. Uh-huh. Trump has this way of speaking that is all based on Shaggy Dog. He does not go from point A to point B. He takes a lot of side roads. In that case of that thing you just listened to, he did it a few times. Mm-hmm. He would just stop and then do asides. I like the guy. He's a great guy.
But he's weak. I
feel sorry for him, but he's weak. And he goes right back to his main point.
He's weak.
Now, I was
so
good. I was listening to one of the analysts on probably MSNBC, or it could have been Democracy Now!, but I think it was MSNBC. Oh, no, I take it back. It was CNN. CNN has got a hard on for Trump. They're going after him big time.
Yeah.
And one of the guys comes on. Actually, MSNBC, at least the clips I have, shows they're pretty analytical, except for...
Well, they're going through transition. They're trying to become more of a real-time news network with analytics right then and there and move on to the next breaking story.
My favorite analysis, which I don't think I have a clip of, it might be in one of these, but the guy says, Trump, all he does is if you listen to him, he just keeps saying the same thing over and over, and he just the same thing, the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. How come he can't be more? If he was any good and a good politician, he'd be more like Obama. Obama stuck to his points, which means Obama just said the same thing. We've heard it. We listened to Obama when we were deconstructing him early on. Yeah. He had these 4 points that he always made about education, energy, and something else. Now, what is the difference between Trump? He's horrible because he keeps saying the same thing, and Obama, who was great because he keeps saying the same thing. Does anybody notice this?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So the one that really got him going was he apparently says, he just casually said on one of the radio shows, and I think it's in one of these clips, Megyn Kelly, she had blood coming out of her eye. She had blood coming out of her, or whatever.
Yeah.
Just casually.
Which the New York Times printed as fact. They printed in the lead that he had made disparaging remarks about menstruation, which there is no evidence. There is no proof.
No. And Amy Goodman. Now, I would like to point out a couple. I have a bunch of, I don't have a bunch. I got about 3 Amy Goodman clips. Now, just as an example, I thought that one of the things when I'm comparing the 3 network media newscasts, the stuff they leave out constantly, and it's interesting stuff. And for example, I want to play this clip. This is the blogger in Germany, charges dropped. This is on Goodmans.
Germany, federal prosecutors have dropped the treason investigation against 2 bloggers who reported on plans to expand online surveillance. The journalists wrote for the independent news outlet Netzpolitik.org. The move to drop the charges followed intense protests over what would have been the first time journalists faced treason charges in Germany over 50 years.
Okay.
I thought that was an interesting story that networks should have covered. They didn't cover it at all. She covered it, which I think is commendable, but she devoted 25 seconds. That clip was 25 seconds. In the similar vein, and I think more to the point of what Democracy Now! Newscast is supposed to be about, is this clip, which is the dead activist clip, which is going to be 27 seconds.
In Mexico, an activist who has led the search for the missing 43 students in the southern state of Guerrero was found shot dead inside a taxi on Saturday. The activist, Miguel Angel Jimenez, had uncovered mass graves near the city of Iguala, where the 43 students disappeared after an attack by local police in 2014. In news from Africa.
Yeah.
Okay, she goes on to another story. Now, again, this is actually a good story that should have gotten some international, national play, got nothing on the networks. Mm-hmm. She devotes 27 seconds to it. Now, let's go back to Trump. She does two sections about him, both of them over a minute. She goes on and on. She's obviously all in, as a neoliberal that she really is, on trashing the guy. Let's play Amy on Trump. This is the 120. It's 120. This is like 3-4 times longer than the clips that were actually important.
Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump has sparked outrage with his comments, implying that Fox News debate moderator Megyn Kelly was asking him tough questions during the first presidential debate because she was having her period.
No, it's not true.
It's not true. It's a lie.
Comments speaking on CNN Friday.
She gets out and she starts asking me all sorts of ridiculous questions. And, you could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
Following the comments, Donald Trump was disinvited from a conservative event in Atlanta where he was slated to be the keynote speaker. The organizer of the Red State Gathering event, Eric Erickson, explained his decision.
So after all of this was over, Mr. Trump went on Twitter and said that I was a weak and pathetic leader, which is okay. I actually think it's really weak and pathetic to take a tough question from a journalist and assume she's having her period, and that's why she asked you a tough question.
Among the many to criticize Trump for the comments is Republican candidate Carly Fiorina. Trump fired back at Fiorina, writing on Twitter that she gives him, quote, a massive headache.
Did you hear it? Did you hear it? Did you hear it?
What, writing on Twitter?
No, that's not what she said. I have the clip.
Among the many to criticize
okay, good. Play it.
Trump for the comments is Republican candidate Carly Fiorina. Trump fired back at Fiorina, writing on Twitter that she gives him, quote, a massive headache.
Twinner. It's Twinner. She's drunk. Amy's drunk again. Twinner. Really?
Well, so she devotes all this time to this story, which is just bullcrap. It's a bullcrap story. Who cares? And then that's one day. The next day she does another one. She hits 1:33, a minute and a half, which is a long clip for a news item. This is not at the second half of the show that she does where they put somebody on and leave them on there for 35 minutes, which is just boring. But this is, again, part of the news rundown, and again, devoting, instead of the poor bastard shot in a taxi cab, that's a really important story that would make sense to the kind of left-leaning Democracy Now! Listeners. She runs on Trump again. This is
news from the campaign trail, Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton has spoken out against Republican candidate Donald Trump's comments that Fox News debate moderator Megyn Kelly was asking him tough questions because she was menstruating.
And while what Donald Trump said.
The question I'd like to know is, was she actually on her period? This has not been answered. I think we deserve to know.
About Megyn Kelly is outrageous. What the rest of the Republicans are saying about all women is also outrageous. They brag about slashing women's health care funding.
Yeah, nice adjective. Very nice. Slashing. Nice verbiage.
They say they would force...
with a pause.
Yeah, slashing.
So you hear slash. Oh, slashers. These are people.
Oh, they're cutting women.
Slashers. Who've been raped to carry their rapist's child. And we don't hear any of them supporting raising the minimum wage, paid leave for new parents, access to quality child care, equal pay for women, or anything else that will help to, give women a chance to get ahead.
There was a woman who ran the London Marathon without a tampon in while she was menstruating to prove a point, to take away the stigma of menstruation.
Yes, I read that story.
Did you see the picture?
No, I was not going to look at the picture.
Hillary Clinton has also proposed a $350 billion plan to move students to attend public universities without taking out tuition loans. The plan echoes calls made by her challenger, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders.
There you go.
Meanwhile, Sanders has received his first national labor endorsement from National Nurses United as he continues to turn out record crowds. 2,800 people attended his event in Portland, Oregon Sunday. Meanwhile, fellow Democratic candidate and former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley is criticizing the Democratic National Committee for limiting the number of presidential debates to 6.
Yeah, well, that's another thing that needs to be discussed. Once again, we go through it every 4 years, that you don't get on television unless you're a front runner with the Republicans or the Demotwats. You just don't get on television. You don't get on television, you're marginalized, you make a little chance. And that's the American system, which no one seems to discuss or want to discuss for fear of not being put on television, obviously. Although it's something Trump could do. He could do anything.
I mean, Ross Perot put himself on.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. He bought time. I remember that. He bought a whole block of time.
Yeah. And then they put him in the debate after he kept going on by himself and going on with his little cards. He brings cards out.
He has cards.
Drawings on them.
Yes.
And they were actually quite good. So let's play a couple more things. Let's talk about Hillary a little bit.
Must we?
No, so we won't. Let's talk about Trump. Now, this is a little side bit. Now, this I got two more clips I want to play. One, and they're both from MSNBC.
Mm-hmm.
They had Chris Matthews was off. And they had this other guy who's really pretty good. And I think Matthews, I think he's probably at the Bohemian Grove because he's a member of that club that shows up there.
Uh-huh.
And so he takes the time off. He never mentions this, of course, because why should he?
Mm-hmm.
So here is the Megyn Kelly dust up and an analysis from this guy. Let's see if I have it. Do I have the right clip here? We'll play the Megyn versus Trump. No, wait, don't do that. Okay, just play the Megyn versus Trump. This is very interesting analysis that I thought was outstanding.
Trump, though, continues to dominate the airwaves. Last night, Fox's Megyn Kelly responded to Trump's attacks on her. Let's watch what she said.
Mr. Trump did interviews over the weekend that attacked me personally. I've decided not to respond. Trump, who is the front runner, will not apologize. And I certainly will not apologize for doing good journalism.
Oh, stop. Good journalism? Asking question and answer? Just the question is, hey,
Yeah, how's that? I say the number of people I saw on Twitter bitching about this, that these threesome that were up there without the F next to them, what journalism is this?
No journalism.
This is just Q&A, and there's supposed to be a debate. What do you got to do with it?
So I'll continue doing my job without fear or favor. Oh. And Mr. Trump, I expect, will continue with what has been a successful campaign thus far.
Trump.
Huh?
Yeah, she was told apparently to knock it off.
Yeah.
And just shut up.
Yeah. Trump and Fox CEO Roger Ailes spoke yesterday. Both say they have cleared the air, but New York Magazine is reporting that Trump had the upper hand. According to two high-level Fox sources, Ailes' diplomacy was the result of increasing concern inside Fox News that Trump could damage the network. Immediately following Thursday's debate, Fox was deluged with pro-Trump emails. Trump apparently threatened a boycott. In a phone conversation, Trump told Sean Hannity that, quote, he was never doing Fox again. again. Robert Costa, Donald Trump versus Fox News. I was watching Fox News when that debate ended last Thursday, and Donald Trump was getting absolutely destroyed on Fox News' airwaves. Now, since then, he made those comments about Megyn Kelly and blood. They apparently were barely reported on Fox News. He's patched things up with Roger Ailes. He's been back on the network. Megyn Kelly offered some comments there, but she didn't exactly go after Donald Trump. It looks to me like Donald Trump has done something I never thought a Republican politician could do. He won a stare down with Fox News.
Yeah, I want to play a clip in the middle here, John. This is one of my assertions, which we've discussed for years now, is that Fox News is run by Democratic operatives, giving you some semblance of a choice, or just mind controlling the other half into doing whatever is necessary. But it is really just one big party. You can't even call them Democrats or Republicans. Here, this is the I think he's an op-ed editor for the Washington Post. Giron, is that his name? No, it doesn't really matter. Listen to how he viewed the debate.
So how does this new war on women narrative, if that's what it's going to be called, play into Hillary Clinton's hands?
Well, I mean,
I should say. And it starts off with this new so-called war on women. Okay, a war on men. This is new? No, it's not.
No, she said war on women.
War on. We call it the war on men, but yes, war on women is what the Democrats feel the Republicans are waging.
So how does this new war on women narrative, if that's what it's going to be called, play into Hillary Clinton's hands?
Well, I mean, certainly the Republican debate played into her hands in terms of being able to say that Democrats are more on the side of women than Republicans are. That is the argument that they started making heavily during the debate and have continued since. She kept saying in different ways, look at what the rest of them were saying. It is as troubling as offensive as what Donald Trump said.
Right. So this is exactly what it is. This was all set up to play into Hillary's hands, or at least someone else, not Donald Trump, to make him and everyone else look stupid.
Well, it's not working.
No, it's not working at all. I have a couple clips if you want.
Well, I got a couple more to finish.
Okay.
Because since we're going to talk about, you have more Trump clips.
Yep.
Now I have the one clip that was interesting because we heard as the teaser earlier in the show the character, what's his name, the lesbian guy,
Caitlyn Jenner. Lesbian.
The guy whose name you can, Chris Hayes.
Oh, yeah, Chris Hayes, the lesbian. Yes,
Chris Hayes he's so baffled. Meanwhile, on this show, on the Chris Matthews show with the substitute host, who has this two people on as guests, Robert Costa, who's a writer for the Washington Post, and I would say he seems to have a clue. He should be the guy with the show. And then they also had Michael Steele, who was the ex-RNC chairman, somehow is working for, he's kind of cynical. They actually explain a lot, again, like the other thing about the showdown between Fox and Trump. They explain what Trump is up to, why he's appealing and all the rest of it. But it starts with Robert Costa making it simple, and then Steele brings in, because he was the head of the RNC before, so he knows the workings of the mechanism.
Yeah, he was the head of the Republican Party. Yeah,
right. He tells us something that is very interesting. This I think is my favorite clip that I've got. This is Michael Steele, Robert Costa explain third party idea.
I know what it is. Yeah, I know what fair is.
Well, Robert, do we know what he thinks fair is when it comes? I mean, he didn't think the Fox News debate was fair. He didn't think the questions that were asked of him were fair. Do you know what this definition is going to be in terms of, did he think he got a fair shake?
Oh, there's a lot of political intrigue behind that statement by Trump. Remember, the Washington Post report a few weeks ago, Reince Priebus calls Trump, asks him to tone it down. Who was listening to that press conference more than anyone? Chairman Priebus. Because Trump mentions Priebus by name and says, I want to be treated fairly. My campaign's in touch with the RNC. I want this to work and the party to be there. He was sending a memo in that press conference to the party establishment. I won't mess with you. Treat me okay. And that means when it comes time, share your contacts, share your infrastructure.
Yeah, Michael, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, keep in mind, folks, there is a history here, not necessarily with Trump, but with the way the party has treated candidates who they did not like or who were outside of the establishment. Remember what happened to Ross Ron Paul at the 2012 convention, not afforded an opportunity to address all those delegates that he brought, not afforded the opportunity to really have a part or role in the end game. And so Donald Trump has taken note of that and has recognized that the party can be pretty harsh to guys like him. And so he's got that Trump card, if you will, in his back pocket, and he intends to use it when it comes to that opportunity.
Yeah. That's what the third party thing is all about. It's like, I'm going to do it, and I'll screw you guys over if you treat me like you treated Ron Paul.
And I do not understand the Republican Party. What is wrong with them? They have a guy who could win. What are they thinking?
Well, they're a bunch of douchebags.
No, the answer is, of course, they're no different from the other elites, from the Democratic elites. They're all
just
the same.
A slightly different opinion of things.
So, Donald Trump is, I'm reminded of Pim Fortuyn in the Netherlands, who ran very populist and against Islam and immigration and multicultural society and political correctness. And he won the election posthumously after he was assassinated a week before the elections.
Yeah, Trump should be careful.
Trump should be very, very careful.
Now, I want to mention one more thing, and then you can go, which is at the previous clip where they said that he did a stare down with Fox, and Fox is going to be nice to him now so he can come on the shows. Since then, the main shows, I haven't noticed anything about Trump, but the secondary shows, and specifically Cavuto, totally after Trump. Like, I get either he didn't get the memo or the memo is bull crap.
Well, the whole thing is nutty because I'm seeing news shows who would expect to really be attacking Trump kind of playing into his cards. The Cuomo kid, he's on CNN. You said CNN is going after Trump. I might have to disagree. I'm seeing a change in attitude.
I thought that Cuomo thing was against Trump. I watched it.
About him whining?
Yeah. And then Trump just went with it.
Yeah, but they know each other. Then they start talking about their mothers.
Well, there's something fishy about that. But I've noted, I'm going to back up a little bit and take a bigger view. I think CNN is going after him. And I don't have a lot of evidence of it, but I've seen it. I've been watching it. It's just they're one thing after another.
It's weak at best. Here's the weak. It's weak. Yes, you're failing me, CNN. You're failing me.
Rich Lowry says that you are the most fabulous whiner in the world, and that you have shown that if you were to sit across from a Putin from Mexico or from the Middle East.
I hate it when I have a Putin across the table from me.
Leaders, that as soon as they said something you don't like, you'd become a whiner, you'd become snipey with them, and that you wouldn't get anything done. What do you say to that?
Well, I think he's probably right. I am the most fabulous whiner. I do whine because I want to win, and I'm not happy about
whiners
not winning.
Winners?
And I am a whiner, and I'm a whiner, and I keep whining and whining until I win. And I'm going to win for the country, and I'm going to make our country great again. Our country right now is a debtor nation. We have airports that are third world airports. We have roadways that are falling apart. We have bridges that are coming down and that are unsafe. 60% of the bridges in this country need work, and they're unsafe.
But how do you pass that infrastructure bill? How do you work with government? You can't just come back at everybody.
Chris, I've been better
when
at
they
working
insult
with
you.
Government. Hey, Chris, I'm worth more than $10 billion. I've been working with government all my life.
But you've also been you've been very rough on people over the years. It's worked for you, but in politics, it's a little different.
You have to be rough, though, Chris.
I know, but you can't always be rough.
I know you, and I know your brother, and your brother's a rough cookie. Okay, and he's a good guy,
and
but he's a rough cookie.
There's a price for being rough.
Done, and you get things done.
But
you're a rough guy.
You've been rough. You threatened to.
This sounds very gay to me. I don't know. This whole rough guy thing is a little creepy. It's totally gay.
Sue me and my parents for giving birth to me.
No, I would never do that.
I love that. He threatened to sue his parents for giving birth to the Cuomo kid. Hey, you know what? That's a lawsuit I'd support. Get rid of that douchebag. All right, now here's Don Lemon, and I still have not figured out these two girls, the Stump for Trump women that we played on the last show, who are the two black women who love Trump. And I'm more convinced now that they've been there's someone behind them.
You think they've been put in play?
Yeah, they have a new website. First, they had a Facebook page, which is viewersviewtheview.net or something. And now it's WeBeSisters.com, which, of course, has a private GoDaddy registration because, hey, you know, someone is behind it that we haven't figured out yet. So Don Lemon has the sisters on, and it's just I'm not sure if this can hurt him any. I think it's kind of fun to listen to them.
No, I haven't seen anyone who is as passionate about Donald Trump, except maybe himself, than you ladies. But you know, Donald Trump spoke just a few hours ago, and he's talking about race relations in this country. What do you say to that?
Well, listen, he's absolutely right.
Yes, he is.
With African Americans, with the unemployment rate being high, particularly among African American men, Don, we need jobs.
We need jobs.
Listen, we need jobs.
We need jobs.
And we don't want people to just be surviving in this country.
That's right.
But we want them to start thriving in this country.
Right.
This is great.
We don't need a handout, but we need a hand up.
We don't need a handout. We need a hand up.
I love the call and response. They just stick with it.
They have it nailed, my friend. It's nailed. They got it.
In this country.
Right.
We don't need a handout, but we need a hand up.
That's
and
right.
I always say this, Don.
Say it.
Listen, he can give you a fish you're going to eat for a day.
That's
but
right.
if a man show you how to fish, you can eat for a lifetime. And that's what I see in our future president, Donald Trump. And listen, stop it for the Trump, because I'm sure going to stump from Don. I see you. You act like you want to stump for him.
Go ahead and stump, Don. Go ahead. Stump.
Listen, the Trump campaign thinks your videos are terrific, and I understand that they have reached out to you.
Well, yes. Well, a lot of our viewers have also.
Now, that's the tell right there. These women, if the Trump campaign had really reached out to them and they were real, they would have been, oh, yeah, and we love Donald. It's fantastic. We talked to, Bubba over there, and he's great, and he understands. No, they talk right over it and go straight to talking about their viewers. This is the tell.
Videos are terrific, and I understand that they have reached out to you.
Well, yes. Well, a lot of our viewers have also reached out to us, too. We resonate with the American people.
Yes.
We say some things that the American people want to say, too.
That's right.
So I'm excited, Don. Listen, I want everybody to get on this bandwagon.
Yes.
Stop looking at all these other candidates. We got a leader right here.
Yes, we do.
Vote for Donald Trump.
Yes.
I believe that he is going to make America great again.
There's your Secretary of State and Secretary of Defense right there if Trump is president.
I feel it all in my bones.
Okay.
And everybody need to jump on the bandwagon. And listen, all you have to do, go to my webpage.
That's right. WeBeSisters.com.
And they're reading this. They're reading the WeBeSisters.com. You can see it. Earlier in this clip, which I didn't pull out, the answer lady, she messes it up. She said, go to I'm sorry. And then while she's saying WeBeSisters.com, the other one is mouthing the words as she reads along. It's been written down for them.
Go to the webpage, you'll see what we all about. And we just want to unite. We need to unite this country, Don.
Okay.
Listen, Don, we need to unite us, baby. We divided.
Okay.
We need to unite. We want to unite America.
That's right.
Yes, sweetie.
WeBeSisters.com.
And we also...
And you be crazy, both of you, in a good way.
You be crazy. You be crazy. I don't know. But I will tell you this, that certainly immigrants who come to this country are going to love Donald Trump if he stays on his message, because this is still viewed from the outside. And we've become very jaded and very politically correct and very messed up in America. But the American dream still exists outside the United States. People still think, hey, you go there and you work hard, you can make something out of yourself. You too can be like Donald Trump. You can be the billionaire. It's inspirational. This is the message people want to hear. It resonates. It resonates with people, particularly with immigrants. And I'm not sure how these women fit in. I'm convinced that
these two women are enigmatic because of this. I mean, that's a great sketch.
It's.
I mean, one of them screaming like a maniac. It's very much
they
like
could
a
be.
preacher,
They could be on
just like a black preacher.
They could be on Saturday Night Live. This is how good this is.
And the other girls yelling and screaming in the background, just encouraging her to continue. And it's a call and response, classic black church,
fantastic,
a methodology for messaging. And I think they're just fantastic. But why are they doing it? This is very suspicious.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
I want to get the one last explanation of success clip. Now, this I have it titled CNN, but this is actually again the guys Steele and Costa, the guys that were on the Chris Matthews Hardball show with the substitute host, and. This was the clip that if I was going to do, I'd do the Chris Hayes clip, which we played at the beginning of the show. I don't know why. Why is anybody? I don't know why anybody's liking this guy. This is the explanation that I think is the best I've heard.
Steve, I've spoken to Trump about this, and I said, why did you raise your hand in that debate? He says honesty is everything. He really believes if he starts to act like someone who's calculating, he will drop.
Right.
And so he's just himself. That's his strategy. That's why he doesn't surround himself with advisors. He is the campaign. He is the message.
It's smart, I have to say. Yeah. I mean, it's also this idea that he doesn't apologize and he doesn't back down. I mean, there's this pattern where it's like Pavlovian. We're so conditioned in politics. Politician says something edgy, all hell rains down upon them. They take it back. They apologize. And I think there's just something about the spectacle of watching a candidate who refuses to apologize for anything, even things that he probably should be apologizing for. I think there are people that resonates with, again, because they hate the system so much. They're so sick of it anyway.
You know, just evaluating this whole Trump campaign, it can only be two things. One, and I think he really means it. You know, what else? He has nothing to lose. What else could he do in his life but go all in for this? I cannot buy that he's some kind of operative, you know, all these conspiracy theories. I'm not believing that at all. The guy is truly all in. He really, really means it. And I have two clips where he
before he played the clips, I want to mention one thing I've mentioned on the show a lot of times. I'm going to say it again. Years ago, when Walter Mondale ran for president and lost badly, I saw him on the Carson show, again, without all his consultants, like Trump has no consultants. He was just by himself, just talking like a normal person. And he was funny. He was insightful. He had personality, which was astonishing to me. I would have voted for that guy, but I never saw that guy until after the election. Trump is showing us somebody that there's a guy, at least he's honest.
Well, finally, he was asked in two different circumstances about his plans. And this, I think, is the genius of what he's doing. The answer, they're identical in his answer, so this is his rehearsed answer. I think the first one is, this may be CNN. Let me see. This one here.
A friend of mine told me, also a very successful guy, they want me to come up with a 10-point plan, a 14-point plan, a 20-point plan. It doesn't necessarily work that way. When I bought Doral, everybody wanted it. Everybody. I didn't sit down and say, let's do a 14-point. I went in and I got it, and I took it away from so many people. The old post office on Pennsylvania Avenue, which is under construction right now, everybody wanted it. Believe it or not, from the government. The government, the whole thing. I mean, it's a government deal. Right. And I got it from the government and the General Services Administration. And I'll tell you what, and totally professional people, those people.
But you got to have.
But here's the point, Chris. Please. I didn't sit down and draw a plan that tomorrow I'll go and have a meeting. The next day I'll go and make an offer. I went in and I got it. I went in and got Turnberry in Scotland. That's one of the great resorts of the world. Everybody wanted it. I didn't wait around to do a 14-point plan. I went in and got it. So a lot of this stuff, you don't want to hear about the plans. You got to get in and you got to get it done.
Yeah, but this is the pendulum swinging the other way. We had the whole Obama, millions of plans, steering committees, working groups, all of this stuff. And people look around and go, "Oh, that didn't work out very well." And now, I'm really believing his intent is pure. He's saying, "Fuck that. That's not how I do business. I'm your American president, America. I'm going to go in. I'm going to get what we want." And this is the most populist you can get, particularly with this country. It is brilliant. No plan. My plan is no plan. You know me. I'm worth $10 billion. How did I get that? No plan. And he was asked this on stage, and I cut this short, and I'll cut them both short. The exact same words.
Said right now, you're going to be great on women. You're going to be great on China. You're going to be great on ISIS. You're going to be great on John.
This is scripted too, by the way, because he gives it away. Listen to this. This is someone saying, "Hey, what about this? What about all these things? Where's your plan?" And then Trump gives away that this was a scripted question.
Said right now, you're going to be great on women. You're going to be great on China. You're going to be great on ISIS. You're going to be great on John.
Hopefully everything.
We haven't heard a lot of specifics. I talked to people outside the venue today, and they say, "Where's the meat on the bone? When are you going to tell us what you'll replace Obamacare with, how you will fix China, how you will bring jobs.
Okay. Well, first of all, and ISIS. You didn't bring up ISIS.
Well, he did say ISIS, but Trump thought he forgot it. So he's saying, hey, ISIS, hey, come on. But that's what we rehearsed, man. You were going to say ISIS. Don't you remember ISIS?
Okay. Well, first of all, and ISIS. You didn't bring up ISIS. What happened?
What happened? Didn't you read the script? Didn't you get your sides? What happened with ISIS?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Where's the plan?
I think you're going to see lots of plans, and you're going to see also, and you have to understand, when you're coming up with a plan in business, you have to be flexible. There's got to be flexibility. And I recently bought something, not so recently, but Doral in Miami. Everybody wanted it. If I would have sat down and said, here's a 12-point plan in order to get Doral, I didn't do that. I went in and punched and beat the hell out of people,
yes!
and I ended up getting it.
That's what we want in America. I want someone punching for me.
Everybody wanted it. All of the smart money wanted it. The OPO, the old post office.
The exact same script. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
That's his plan. That's his plan. I love his plan. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to fight everybody. Hey, you want Russia? We'll go fight Putin. You want Chiners? I'll go fight Chiners. We'll build a ring around America. We'll put troops everywhere. This is the message the bloodthirsty Americans actually want to hear. I am sorry. Look at Hollywood, people. Look at it. Aren't we always the heroes and on the da-da-da, here we come to save the day? This is what people want. And it's frightening to the established elite. It's frightening to them. This is MSNBC. It's my last one.
Well, I think Republicans have seen what happens when they don't really confront him, and he takes the stage and knows how to take it. I think there's a serious issue here. This is not all fun and games for the Republican Party. There is one type of populism that is kind of against Obamacare, is concerned about government's role in our life. And the Republican Party has incorporated that populism, the Tea Party populism. There's another kind of populism that is xenophobic, that is the resentment of outsiders, of Mexico and China and immigrants. That's more like a European right-wing party, a UKIP, or a National Front in
Nazis.
In France. Republicans can't incorporate that. They have to make clear that there are lines here. This is not the party. And that is going to take, I think, a serious early effort to define that clearly.
He's like Farage. He's the American Farage.
Yeah.
Only he's worth $10 billion.
I think it's a good analogy.
Yeah, he's a Nazi.
I said this on the last show. They're having meetings right now as we do this show.
Oh, definitely.
What are we going to do about this guy? He's got to go.
And I have a message for Donald Trump. You know, instead of going through all of your real estate purchases, which is weak, it's a weak argument. I like the fighting bit. I like the whining. I like the punching. Just say, hey, go read my book, Art of the Deal. That's how I work. I don't know why he's not mentioning that.
He actually early in the campaign did that.
He should keep doing it. I think
you're right. He should push his books. At least he makes some money on the side.
Go read my book.
I do have the one clip which is just baffling. Rand Paul, who's now has no chance of winning anything, and every time he does this, it just gets worse and worse for him because nobody likes it. And in fact, he's talking about how the guy's the loser. Trump's a loser because he keeps calling people names. Yet he's the one who's calling people names, and we can play that clip.
If you want to elect somebody who says people are bleeding or stupid or pigs, go right ahead. But I want to fix the country because someone can stand up and say you're stupid and you're ugly does not equate with a vision for the country.
Trump responded.
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing.
There you go.
All right.
I've had enough of that now.
Onward.
Yes, please. Please let us move. Cory Booker. Senator. Is he a senator? Yes, senator.
No, I think he's a congressman.
I think he's a senator. I think he's a senator of the great state of New Jersey, I believe. And I'm no fan of Cory Booker. I don't know why it is I don't like him. Maybe it's because someone offered me like a merger with his company because he was running for Senate and he couldn't have this. And I don't know. The whole thing was just the guy's sketchy. I don't know. What's he doing investing in social media companies? But okay. Fine. But he said something really good about slavery in the United States.
This is a legitimate a degree of frustration in this country, in a nation that has yet to confront what I believe are persistent civil rights issues, human rights issues. And you mentioned in the criminal justice system, so now we know that we see there's some states where 1 in 5 black Americans don't have a right to vote because of this mass felony disenfranchisement. But that's just one thing. We have an overall prison system where we see that there's no difference in America between blacks and whites, between minorities and whites in using drugs. In fact, there's no difference in dealing drugs. Some studies show that young whites have more of a chance of being drug dealers, but yet we have an incarceration rate for drugs, for drug use, and for drug selling that is disproportionately seen in communities of color. And the result of that has created these awful realities in America, where right now we have more African Americans under criminal supervision than all the slaves in 1850, where we have a nation that has states like mine that has 14-15% African Americans, but the prison population is over 60% black.
How nice is that? More slaves under criminal supervision than all or more people of color under criminal supervision than all of the slaves in 1850.
I'd have to run that number, but it's relative. So, yeah, but it might be true. It could be. We have way too many people in jail, that's for sure.
You know, they're coming out with the SAFE Act, which will give you time off for every day you're nice and you do your chores for your 12 cents an hour. You'll get 1 day reducing your sentence. They're really trying to depopulate the prison system.
Well, they have a lot of people in prison that shouldn't be in prison.
Absolutely.
Well, I was paying some attention to the Black Lives Matter thing. Although, if you want to take a break right now, looking at this, might not be a bad idea. We do have a lot of people to thank for joining the Mile High Club, and we'll continue that for another week or two.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh, yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda.
Yes, we have a bunch of people to thank, largely because we had a slew of people that decided, wisely, I believe, to join the Mile High Club so they can, if ever asked,
can say, yes, I am.
I am in the Mile High Club. We recommend a wink after you say that.
And we also now forever will remember how many feet are in a mile. This has been very helpful.
Yes, it's very valuable. All right, let's start with a few people overall. We do have probably a lot of people that doubled up on the Mile High Club, including, perhaps, is it true? I don't know. Maybe not. Let me read the note. Alan Hawes in Windsor, UK. Nice place. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it wouldn't be. I would like to call out my brother, David Hawes, as a giant douchebag. For even... for suggesting, the problem with this particular color that Eric's got on here, dark salmon, is like too dark on this monitor. Suggesting a couple of episodes ago that I want you to read this because I can't.
That I live in Slough. Those of us who border Slough will understand how insulting his comment was. He's only lucky that I'm not a knight yet, as the gauntlet would have been well and truly thrown down. Alan Hawks from Windsor, UK.
Which is a nice place.
Beautiful.
Zachary Zeisler in Omaha, Nebraska. $100.01. He says a comedy podcast donation for consistently making him laugh out loud. Aaron Murphy in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, $100. Corey Noon in Los Angeles, California, $99.99. Matthew Wilson in Hanover, Pennsylvania, $89.59. A couple of belated happy anniversaries from Shadi Hijaz in London. Dame Beth Borazan in Baja, Arizona. That's 88.15, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Guerrero, I think. In Tempe, Arizona. Huh? Interesting. 88.15. You have two side-by-sides Arizona.
Random number theory.
Kyle Alcorn in Brabham, Western Australia, 88.15. And then we move to a 56.11 donation from
55.11.
What, 55.11?
Mm-hmm.
What'd I say?
5611.
Oh. Real Gowers in Fort Collins, Colorado.
Oh, this is donation in honor of the amazing Dave Jones who helped me get the Freedom Controller working. After hearing Adam explain it, I really wanted to use it for my podcast show notes, but I'm not a dude named Ben. Dave came through. Huge thanks and thanks. Good. Freedomcontroller.com. Go check it out.
Mark Pledger in Beaver Creek, Ohio, 5280.
Peter McConnell from Stockholm. He's the first.
Right, let's start off. This is all 5280, starting with Peter McConnell in Stockholm, New Jersey. And these are all Mile High Club members now and forever. Mark Pledger in Beaver Creek, Ohio. Ralph Massaro in Kirkland, Washington. Sir Barry Kroger in Greeley, Colorado. Arrangements on E in Piqua, Ohio.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Arrangements on E. He says, you guys are still the best option anywhere for any analysis in caps.
Yep.
And this is 73s by KA8SFL.
73s, KF5SLN.
RG or RC. Is it RC? RC. 5280 from Sammamish, Washington. That's interesting. Ronald Tharp Jr., Cedar Plains, Iowa. Isaac Pigot, our guy who yells and screams, shocked. 5280 from Trussville, Alabama. Sir Chris Eisbach in Cheshire, Connecticut. Matt, how would you pronounce that? Kammerer in Denver, Colorado. John Hammack Jr., spelled Hammac. Robert, and he's in Andrews, South Carolina. Robert Gold, Toronto, Ontario. Monica Lansing, Dame Monica Lansing to you. In Drayton Valley, Alberta, Canada. Dave Wilkinson in Ornernar. He's in Auckland. Sir Hank Viscount of Queens, New York, who's in Kew Gardens, New York. And Eric Hulbritter in South Ogden, Utah. Robert Folkerts, I'm just having trouble with names today, in Southfield, Michigan. Matthew Hershey, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Martin Fellner in Gulling an der Salzach. Yes, this means he's on the river somewhere in Austria. Sir Dr. Sharkey in Jackson, Tennessee. David Ziegler in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It says Winnipeg. I don't know why. Adam Kowalewski in Würzburg, Deutschland. Sherry Laurie in Seaholm, Victoria, Australia. Sir Robert Goshko in Sherwood Park, Alberta. Brad Doherty in Brooklyn, New York. Craig Dashnow in Ascot Vales, Victoria, Canada. Australia. Sorry. Nicholas Enstavi in San Bruno, California. I can read.
Aristavi.
Are
you having trouble reading the spreadsheet? This is not like you.
Well, I have to. You want me to admit what's going on?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So I have I changed computers, and the spreadsheet is in an awkward dimensions because the video drivers aren't quite working right. So I got an awkward thing, and the sun is right in my eyes.
You're like the Red Baron. You want to bring John down on donations, get the sun behind him. Yeah.
Sir Norman McDonough, Baronet in Woodstock, Ontario, 5280. Nelson Rogue in Cutler Bay, Florida, 5280. John Owen in Mesa, Arizona, 5280. Eric Brun in St. Paul, Minnesota. Stephen Taft in Marietta, Georgia. Eric Olson in Water Valley, Mississippi. Alan Smith in Powder Springs, Georgia. Vincent Michael Viklund in someplace Sweden.
Filmhult?
You got the characters, I don't. Jason Payne. Oh, another thing just to add. This is not the Microsoft Excel. This is like
Open Office.
No, Office Libre.
No, Libre.
Carl Otto Rosenquist in Sweden. Wiley Teunissen.
Willy Teunissen, Grave.
Willy Teunissen in Grave, Netherlands. Dame Beth Borazan in Baja, Arizona. Patrick Brennan in Munich, Deutschland. Yancey Summerer in Houston. James Husky in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. Randy Val. This is a long list.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Vizentine in Houston. Ryan Mitchell in Wheat Ridge, Colorado. Todd Dobbs in Scottsdale, Arizona. Stephens Owens in Roswell, Georgia. Sir Bean in Thousand Oaks, California. William Bowman in Cornville, Arizona. A lot of Arizonans here. And not to be followed by Lucas Grouters in Tucson, Arizona. Michael Mugler in Fountain, Colorado. He says he's glad to see his recent donations at 747 has expanded to yet another club membership.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Silver, Grass Valley, California. Dean Mountain. That's a nice name. And Nuevo,
Sean.
California.
It's Sean Mountain.
Oh, yeah, Sean. Right.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Sir Knight of the East Side, Maplewood, Minnesota. Daniel Rigsecker. That's a good name. In Archbold, Ohio. Kevin Johnson, KJ in Phoenix, Arizona. 5280, named after the basketball player, obviously, who's in Sacramento. Ethan Smith in Lexington, Kentucky.
He has a douchebag call out. Can you please call out Jay Hamilton as a douchebag?
Vasanth Dharmaraj, Indian name, in Fremont, California. I guess we stop harping on that, but he's in Fremont. He's probably rich. Christina Caldwell in Brisbane, Queensland. Brian Lanning in Michigan. Robert Rice in Kennebunkport, Maine. That's interesting. Davis Hislop in Edmonds, Washington. John Knowles, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hassan Maynard in Bayshore, New York. Gilles Pavot in Paris, France.
Ah, bonjour.
Bonjour. I would like to be in Paris, France right now. Especially having to read this thing. E.H.
Fluttert. In Leiden.
Okay. Sir Charles Wallers in Schaumburg, Illinois. And why is that in a different color?
It's Walters, because he's missing a note.
Walters. Oh, no, that's not why.
Yes, it is.
Well, why would that be? Has he got a note that, because Caldwell that is missing a note, there's nothing. And Brian Lanning was missing a note.
I'm wrong.
Matthew Helly, who's 5280. He actually did 50 and then came back with 280. Joey Gullo in Marietta, Georgia.
And he has a call out, Matt and Finch for being boners and douchebag.
And he came in with 52, so we ended our Mile High Club right there.
With my chip, yeah.
Joey should just be thrown on. And now we have $50.33 from Dodge in Pensacola, Florida. I don't know what that means. Keith Van Dyke as $50, and he's in in South Australia. Now, these are all 50s, including Sir Mike Westerfield. Patricia Worthington in Miami, Florida. Brandon Savoy, I believe he's in Quebec, maybe not. Jacob Wojciak in North Vancouver, BC. Richard Gardner in Parts Unknown. Jason Brockman in Hamilton, Ohio. Paul Vella in Milton Keynes, Buckinghamshire. And that concludes our lengthy call out. And we want to thank everybody for sure for donating, especially the Mile High Club guys for joining in. We like to create these little things that people can benefit from, and I think you can benefit from joining the Mile High Club.
Yes, absolutely. And this is
like a hot shot.
Success.
We got a lot of notes.
Yeah. Well, I want to pick out three before we move on. Of course, we always want to thank everybody under the $50 level, mainly for anonymity purposes, but also our regular monthly donors who are on a subscription level. Thank you so much. Love those 33s. Everything that you can do is always highly appreciated. Pulling out James Husky. He wanted an F cancer for his dad who's fighting liver cancer, so we'll do that. We have now Vasanth Dharmaraj, who you said is probably rich, I read his note. It says the Bay Area is becoming unlivable for a single family of four. The apartment rent is increasing $200 to $500 each year. So can I have some job hunting karma to move to a saner city?
I guess it's... Can I play a clip here?
Hold on. And then Robert Rice just wanted to mention he sends us 73s, Kilo Charlie 4, Tango Delta Alpha. Always want to stop for the No Agenda hams, for they can save your life one day. Yes. You want to play a clip?
Yes, play San Francisco rents.
If you're going to need that gas money to pay for rent, that's what Zillow says. Renters in San Francisco now spend almost 47% of their income just on housing. Here's the latest example of sticker shock. The top floor unit of this brand new Dubose Avenue building is going for $6,500 a month. And it's only a one bedroom. You're renting it. You're not buying it. It's 981 square feet, has a private deck and house cleaning services. Now get this, the security deposit alone will set you back $13,000. Here's a look inside a two-bedroom unit in that same building. It's a bit bigger, offers the same amenities minus the house cleaning. The San Francisco housing market ranks second among large metros after L.A. for the worst rental affordability.
Yeah, oh, very good.
There you have it.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining the Mile High Club. Look forward to seeing you out on the road. Yes, John, the Airstream is happening.
Uh-oh.
Yep. You know who came through for me?
It would be your, what are they, credit union.
The credit union, yep. UFCU.
They're the best.
Unbelievable. So I got a tip to call the credit union. I said, look, here's what I want to do. This thing can be mortgaged like a house. It's legal to do that, so I could deduct the interest. And, you should spread it out over years and years and years and years and years. And they came through for me.
How many years?
75 months. So what is that, 6 years? Something like that. So Hot Pockets is on. And I want
a house is generally 20, but a car is usually 4, 3.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is, it's probably okay.
Yeah. And 5% APR. They didn't punish me too much.
No, it's reasonable considering.
Credit unions are the way to go.
Now you'll have credit.
Yeah, we're hoping. Oh, man. All right, everybody, thank you very, very much for supporting us. And I believe the Mile High Club will stay open for a little bit longer. How much longer, John?
Well, what I wanted to do originally was do the Mile High Club for the 747, a Mile High Club for the 757, 767, and then the 777, and then the 787. So I think we can keep it open
through the 787
until the 787 passes.
Perfect. Well, please support us.
797s.
We will have another show.
That's a hard close. Boom. Hard close.
Hard close.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Jobs, 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 and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You thought. Oh, no.
It's your birthday. On No Agenda.
That's right. We say happy birthday to Carl Otto Rosenquist. He turned 40 on the 4th of August. Sir Stephen Dean, celebrating today. And Daniel Rieksecker celebrating tomorrow. We say happy birthday from all your friends here at the best podcast in the universe.
It's your birthday, yeah.
And we have Sir Adam Kowalewski becoming a baron today. Congratulations to him. And then one knighting. So we would like Alexander Burr to step up on stage. Watch out for John's sword. He's a little loose today. Alexander Burr, thank you very much for jumping in big time, becoming the instant knight that you deserve to be, my friend. We are therefore very happy to pronounceate thee a knight of the No Agenda Roundtable, Sir Chewy Knight of the Snowboards. And for you, of course, we have Hookers and Blow, Rent Boys and Chardonnay, Cheap Wine and Chili Dogs, Pork Ribs and Pale Ale, Johnny Walker Green Label, Video Games and Vaporizers, Root Beer and Pepperoni Pizza. We've got Airstream and Bear Fillings, Root Beer and Legos, Girlfriend Experience, a good bourbon, wenches and beer, geishas and sake, bong hits and bourbon, and obviously the mutton and meat. Go to noagendanation.com/rings, and Eric the Shield will make sure that you get your ring in the mail post haste as soon as possible. Well, very successful, John, the Mile High Club. Very happy with that.
I'm very happy that we have people that we've actually got this little operation with this Mile High Club. It's a great gimmick.
Yeah, it wasn't our idea, was it?
No, again, like most of the good stuff on this show, it was one of the producers who came up with the concept, and they saw this 747 show number coming up, and they came with this idea. We should have his name and give him credit. We did when we first mentioned him. And boom, just like, oh, yeah, absolutely, because it's such a nice thing to be. I now feel that, I'm a member of this. I can say I'm in the Mile High Club, even though it's the No Agenda Mile High Club.
Yeah, it's a good it's valid.
Yeah, it's valid. It's just like this producer credits.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll put up a web page. Will vouch for you.
Yeah,
everybody's name will be on the page.
Exactly. We're going to do that. You're committing to that?
I think so. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it.
Okay. Mile High Club will have a web page. All right, good. We got to come up with a cool domain name. No, maybe even cooler.
No, just do it as a just a page. It doesn't have to be a good domain name unless we have one of those. Unless somebody wants to grab one. milehighclub.com.
I'm sure that's already taken, but
I don't know that. How about milehighclub.high? .air.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's move over to Euroland. We see that Greece has agreed to the very harsh austerity measures, but IMF still says no. You need to have, let me see, they said take away the haircut, which the IMF needs in order to jump in. But now Germany, this is very cool. Angela Merkel said, but I have an idea. So instead of doing this extended debt relief, why don't we have the European Union, not the Eurozone, but the European Union itself be the guarantor for the next bailout tranche if they would agree to it, which is outrageous considering many countries are a member of the EU and the Eurozone, but without being a member of the monetary unit per se.
Yeah, well, that would be the Eurozone.
The Eurozone is who have the euro, and then the EU is the entire European Union.
Yeah, you just said...
I said it the wrong way around, yes. Which would make the UK very pissed off. But they're doing it quietly. There's not a lot of reporting on this. Not a lot.
Well, the UK, I think Sweden.
Yeah, Sweden, Norway.
Norway's not in the EU.
That's right.
So they're not the Eurozone or the EU.
Oh... You're right.
Yeah, them and Switzerland, both of them. They said, no, we got too much money. We're not going to get involved. Yeah. Smart.
By the way, Norway is now, do you know that they are the second largest supplier of natural gas to Europe?
No, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, they've just done a deal with, who did they do this deal with? I have it here. They did a deal to provide Western Europe with now equal amount of natural gas as Gazprom does. So wow. I think we might see some terrorism cropping up in Norway. Some regime change might have to take place. I don't know.
You're going to be able to pull that one off.
Yeah, well, I thought it was... also, just while we're on Russia, the Dutch finally came out with another... this is the Investigative Bureau. And as you know, I read all these things. And... this is the Openbaar Ministerie, and they actually released on the 11th of August an English version of their findings. This is the Dutch Safety Board, the DSB, and the Joint Investigation Team, the JIT, and they've investigated multiple parts that were found around the crash and as a part of the crash. Possibly, they say, or originating from a Buk surface-air missile system. These parts have been secured during a previous recovery mission in eastern Ukraine and are in possession of the Criminal Investigation Team of MH17 and the DSB. The parts are of particular interest to the criminal investigation, so they can possibly provide more information about who was involved in the crash of MH17. For that reason, the JIT further investigates the origin of these parts. The JIT will internationally enlist the help of experts. So they're really trying to do everything they can to implicate Russia in this. But they say quite clearly, yeah, they could have been from a Buk a surface-to-air missile, but we're really not sure.
What about an air-to-air missile?
Well, that's what we think it is, you and I, on this show. But that's not what they're saying. Clearly, it's not from a Buk missile. This is why they're being all hedgy about it. But they have no proof. They cannot prove it came from a Russian surface-to-air missile and launcher. But the way the media is spinning it again, of course, is it's Russia. And we know Russia is dangerous, and Russia has done all this.
They're terrible, those Russians. And you know why?
And tell me, John.
Snowden.
Things not going too well in Portugal either.
Angry customers clamour to get their savings back from the collapsed Portuguese bank, Espírito Santo. This is a battle of Davids versus a Goliath. Individual savers against the international banking system. Thousands were persuaded to put their savings in toxic investment plans, which then failed. 1 year after the...
Yeah.
When she says international banking system, they pot up the guys booing.
Yeah. These Euronews clips are always sweetened beautifully. And I actually cut a lot of stuff out because they leave long sentences of people speaking in a foreign tongue, which is just of no use for an audio show. I cut that out and still.
And they have subtitles?
No, they have voiceover.
BES was reinvented via a national bailout. They're still waiting for their lost money to be repaid. From January until March, they said the problem would be solved. He says they announced on the internet that we would be reimbursed with interest, but they've not even given us back what they owe. They're not honest people. I don't believe them anymore, she says. My husband believed until now, but I don't. Once one of Portugal's biggest lenders, BES collapsed after reporting a record loss in 2014. The country's fledgling recovery looked threatened and the government came to the rescue. The sound assets were transferred into Novo Banco as part of a €4.9 billion bailout. But there's still no news of reimbursement for these customers.
It's the whistle thing, man. This is what we talked about years ago.
Spain, and they do it in Portugal. I don't know where else they do it, but it's against the law in the United States.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah.
Well, you can't blow a whistle?
Apparently, yeah. I was asking somebody about this. I said, why don't you guys use whistles and just blow them? Because when you hear it...
it's very annoying, yeah.
It's very annoying, and it's perfect for protests. And I was told, no, it's against the law.
Huh.
Well, yeah, we get everything's against the law. You can't do anything here. It's astonishing to me that you can protest at all anymore.
Shut up, slave.
Exactly. Shut up, please. All right, something lighter. I have a new superstar in the making here.
Okay.
Yeah, and I found her through this crazy story about this so-called Obama advisor who shot at her boyfriend. Did you hear about this story?
No, I missed that one.
Okay. Well, the story is brought to us by Michelle Kosinski, who is new at CNN. This girl, you got to look her up. She is smoking hot. Just smoking hot. But she comes from a long line. Here she's, let me see. She was a foreign correspondent. She's 38. Foreign correspondent for NBC News in London, joined CNN in February. Allegedly hosted a wild party with loud African drumming at her London home that infuriated neighbors and was shut down by authorities. She's married to this retired financial douchebag, Kimball Duncan. And they now reside in Washington and own a home in upscale Notting Hill in London, where they threw that summer soiree. Neighbors include Stella McCartney, Damon Albarn, Robbie Williams. So this woman she is on her way to become a primetime anchor at CNN. I can guarantee you this. Oh, here.
It depends on her. I think she's got the look. That's for sure. She's totally got the look. You're right. But does she have the patter?
Well, yes, I think she has the patter, but she has the connections, man. This guy's loaded. She threw the party, and Wolf Blitzer came, and Dana Bash, and Fox News Channel's White House correspondent Ed Henry and his wife Shirley. All these, who's also a CNN producer. So she is on the fast track, and she's doing this little bit of color out there, I think where the Obamas are vacationing or wherever she is. And here's the report. But just listen to her. She's great.
Right. I mean, this is such an unusual story, one we definitely didn't expect to be telling from here. But this is a special assistant to the president, a legislative affairs liaison who works at the White House, who has been in jail since Friday. She was just let out today on $75,000 bond. 37 years old. Her name is Barvettis Singletary, has worked at the White House for about a year. And this is a highly paid staffer. She makes $125,000 a year, which is on the high end. Clearly a very well-respected member of the White House staff. But according to this police report from Friday in Prince George's County, Maryland, she called up her boyfriend and invited him over to her home. He's a Capitol police officer, so he protects Capitol Hill. They spent time together. She then got him to go out to his car, where she got a hold of his 2 cell phones and his service gun that he uses for work. According to the report, she was demanding that he show her what was on his phones, accusing him of cheating on her. He refused to give her the passwords to his phones. The report says that she then went inside her home with his gun. He followed, and then she threatened him with the gun. She allegedly pointed it at him and told him that you showed me how to use this. Don't think I won't use it, and then shot the gun in his direction. According to the report, he then ran out of the house and called 911.
Now, I'm not sure what the point is of this story. I looked into it, and this is the problem with news reporting in 2015, but it's really been going on for a while. If you try and look up this woman, you cannot find anything except this news report. You cannot find where she's from. You just can't find anything. Bio, nothing. It's not available. She may not even be real for all I know. But I do know that she's in no form can she, if what they're describing here can only be someone who is a member of a big team, which includes the Office of Legislative Affairs, which is Department of Justice, not the White House staff. I don't think she's on White House staff. So I'm not sure why they're bringing this up. Is this some kind of thing to say like, hey, the Capitol Police are compromised, or, and what's not mentioned, which I did get from other reports, is she had sex with him first, and then she did this whole threatening thing and shot at him. So I'm unsure as to why this became such a big news story.
Well, it's not a big news story. It wasn't on any of the networks.
Oh, yeah, it was.
No, I didn't see it.
Oh, there's the 151.
Huh.
I saw it on multiple. It's all over.
Where'd you see it?
Well, this was CNN.
I'm talking about network news.
Oh, okay. I don't know. But I saw a lot. While I was researching, I saw nothing but this story over and over, but not about her. So maybe a message to someone?
It's definitely a message to someone. I mean, it's just psycho chick story is what it sounds like. But it's like not a story. This is not something that should be reported. What is the point of it? It's just some rant. I can tell there's 25 of these stories every day in Oakland.
Right, but it's messaging, and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Well, I don't know. You got me. I spotted some messaging with the Black Lives Matter that I thought was a little peculiar, making me conclude after I saw those 2 girls that were badgering Bernie Sanders and driving him off the stage because he's weak.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know this is that they are funded by the Open Society Institute, George Soros. So we know where their money's coming from.
Well, I have 2 clips. I have only seen, although you see marching, but the most prominent people in this movement seem to be lesbians. Now, I mentioned this to Mimi. She said, you're crazy.
Good old Mimi.
I just think there's lesbianism involved in this. And I also thought it was interesting that, what's the name of the doctor who's running for president?
Ben Carson? Carson
made an interesting point about this group. He's not very fond of them. He says if they think Black Lives Matter so much, have some news guy ask them, do you think a Black Lives Matter when it comes to abortion? There's a little unborn baby.
Right. Yeah, this is an ongoing theme.
Life matter?
Ongoing theme. Yeah.
So that's not going to happen. But let's play these clips. I got the Black Lives Matter professor. Now, this professor is at Cal State Los Angeles, which has got to be one of the least, interested. I mean, it's just one of the Cal State system, by the way, in California for people out there. There's the University of California system, and there's the Cal State system. I've actually been to both. And Cal State system is really crappy. And you shouldn't go there. I went there 1 quarter, and that was going to be the end of that. That was for summer. So let's play Black Lives Matter Professor.
This with the Seattle branch of Black Lives Matter brought a Bernie Sanders political rally to a halt yesterday. Those demonstrators came on the stage and they interrupted the candidate as he was speaking and essentially shut the event down.
I was going to tell Bernie how racist this city is, filled with its progressives, but you already did it for me. Thank you.
Let's bring in Melina Abdullah, professor of Pan-African Studies at California State University in Los Angeles, and also an organizer for the Black Lives Matter, of course, that movement which grew out of that popular hashtag. So with a welcome to you, what, first of all, do you think of what happened in Seattle yesterday?
Well, I think that it's really important that we take space whenever we can. Black Lives Matter and the systematic assassination of black people at the hands of the state is a top issue for black folks. However, it remains at the bottom of the political agenda of elected officials, including those who we consider to be liberal and progressive.
I like the take space meme. That's cool.
I know.
What does that mean? Where is this coming from?
I don't know. I haven't found the genesis of take space, but she says it. I've heard it before. I've heard it elsewhere. Now, if you start listening for it, you hear it all over the place. And it's like somebody's got the microphone, you grab it. Take space. Space, take it.
Does this come from Occupy? Is that maybe an Occupy thing?
I have not heard it. I don't remember. It just caught me off guard.
Okay.
Is that the end of one?
Yes, that's the end of one.
Okay, well, here's the part this is the second part of that clip, the same woman. I think it cuts a bunch of her out, which gave me the lesbian thing. There's a key word in here. It's a code word for people who want to look for code words that kind of tell you where, who are we? What are we talking about? The code word, you use the code word and they, oh, I see, you're with them. Okay, you're one of us or whatever. Here it comes.
And in that vision, is there a specific presidential candidate on either side of the aisle who you think aligns themselves most with what the vision is of Black Lives Matter?
Well, when I think about who's running for president, most of them represent this system of white supremacist, heteronormative, patriarchal capitalism. And so,
racist!
No one intrinsically or on their own really uplifts Black Lives Matter. That said, it's the role of engaged populations to challenge those who claim to represent them, to represent us in the way that we want to be represented. And so that's what the taking of space is about. That's what disruptions are about. That's what dialogue is about.
Okay, what was the lesbian part you got out of that?
Heteronormative.
Heteronormative.
You didn't hear that? Yeah, I think you laughed over it. It was right at the beginning.
Let me hear it again.
And in that vision, is there a specific presidential candidate on either side of the aisle who you think aligns themselves most with what the vision is of Black Lives Matter?
Well, when I think about who's running for president, most of them represent this system of white supremacist, heteronormative, patriarchal capitalism. And
damn, that's a mouthful. Heteronormative
patriarchal capitalism.
It's a little too long for a show title, but I like it.
It's a good word.
It's it's a fantastic word.
What it means is the normals. It means the normal people.
Yeah.
Not, running around crazy, doing anything offbeat.
Right.
They're just, what it means is normal, but it's more insulting. It's normal heterosexuals. And we don't want a normal heterosexual, for God's sake, in the presidency.
Especially not a white one. Not a white one.
All that was left out was mentioning Hillary.
Yeah, as the perfect non-normative hetero non-normative.
I found it very, and this woman, this is on CNN, and this woman, okay, whatever.
Borderline clip of the day.
Borderline clip. Hit it.
Yeah. Do I have this?
I agree. It's borderline clip of the day.
Yeah, borderline clip of the day.
Borderline clip of the day.
Very good. Good find. Heteronormative.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to put that on a business card.
I'm a heteronormative.
Hello, I'm Adam Curry, heteronormative. Blanco, heteronormative.
I found this one clip, this out of the blue clip of somebody doing analysis of, the Bernie thing and all the rest of it. But somebody pointed out this one thing, and I think this was part of a long clip. but I clipped it out. It's the Hillary enthusiasm problem. I thought this was an important clip.
Only 35% of likely Democratic primary voters in New Hampshire say they're excited about the Hillary Clinton candidacy. This, this is the woman who could be the first female president in this country. What does that tell you?
Right. And a majority, 51% in this poll say, yeah, we're fine with voting for her, but we're not that excited about it. So you can see in those two numbers, she's got an enthusiasm problem. And really, these numbers are also applicable to the general election, which by all means is going to be a close election, no matter who the Republican nominee is. Are Democrats as psyched to get out and vote for her as they were for President Obama? I think that's sort of percolating in the minds of Democrats now as they look in these numbers.
I don't think Hillary liked it.
Beginning of the end.
It is the beginning of the end. I'm still stuck on the heteronormative. It's like I'm cyber curious and heteronormative.
Cyber curious.
Like this cannot go well. Oh. All right.
I thought it was we got to come up with some, you got your homophobia, you got your racism, you got there's a bunch of different things. The xenophobic comes up with Trump.
Caucasian heteronormative.
But there's got to be, what about if you hate the heteronormatives? What does that mean? Can we come up with a term that we can accuse people of?
Right.
So we need
heteronormophobia.
Work nowadays, you want accusatory terms.
Right. Heteronormophobia.
That could be. Mm-hmm. It's a little much of a mouthful.
Yeah. So to speak. Good news for everybody who wanted to see the full apostate video. This is the latest coming. This is the, I think it was the upfront for ISIS. They were showing what we can expect this season from them, from their video production. And in this now,
do you have any new series coming out?
Yeah, the new series it's a cool new way of doing it. They now blow people up instead of beheading. They make these guys help them bury the bombs, and they sit them down in a line, and they light up the fuses, run away, and then these guys blow up.
Do they all blow up at once, or is it boom, boom, boom?
No,
boom,
they
boom.
blow up at once, and the full video. I got to tell you, at the end there, where you see body parts falling down from the sky, it's really quite disgusting. I think this is real. And of course,
they're blowing people up.
Yeah, I think this looks like
these guys have gotten carried away with how to use a prop.
Well, this video is good. I mean, they got all the slow-mo in there, and then they rewind pieces of the explosion. Now, it could still be a fake, and you'll never see the full video on any website because they all stop at the end. It's built that way specifically with the sound effect. After that is when the bomb goes, but you don't see that. So it's a very good teaser. Discovered once again by the site Intelligence Group. So you can't get this, except you can get it on the No Agenda Show under the Caliphate for your clips and documents in the show notes at 747.noagendanotes.com. And we have ongoing now. The corridor, the Turkish corridor, looks like things are heating up in Turkey. First, we have a terrorist attack. It always helps get somebody on board, which Turkey now is all on board. Here is Erdogan, in a translated piece, of course, vowing to fight the terrorists, which we know really are, the Kurds who the Turks hate.
These people are mourning a soldier killed when militants attacked a military base in Sirnak on Monday. He was one of at least 9 people who died in a wave of attacks on the security forces. President Recep Tayyip Erdogan says his government will not rest until the terrorist threat is eradicated. Preventing guns being fired is not enough, he says. Weapons should be put down and buried. I insist on this. Our fight will continue until not one terrorist is left within our borders, and their weapons have been covered with concrete. The Kurdish PKK says it was behind the separate bombing of a police station nearby in which 4 people died. Military activity in the region is intense. Planes leave for a fresh round of airstrikes in the southeastern province of Hakkari, while the US-led coalition pursues an air campaign against Islamic State in Iraq.
Right, so we are taking off from the air base in Turkey, and we are bombing this corridor, which is going to be said, it's for humanitarian reasons, it's to separate, these guys from those guys, but really it is a corridor which leads straight all the way down to Qatar so they can have a safe pipeline, which has always been the entire reason for the Syrian issue. They chose for the Iran, Iraq, Syria pipeline. Wrong. You can't have that. It's the Qatar, Turkey into Europe pipeline. And we are going to implement a no-fly zone. Here's the Turkish Prime Minister, who does speak English, explaining this.
Turkey is the victim of all these Syrian crises.
You blame the paralysis in the Security Council?
Yeah, of course. There has not been a strong decision of international community to stop these atrocities. 300,000 people being killed in Syria. They are human beings. If there was a no-fly zone and a safe...
That's rich for the Ottoman Empire to think about human beings' lives. That's pretty funny.
Heaven inside Syria, there wouldn't be such a flow.
So are you going
to
establish one now?
We will try. And that's still our position.
Can we just be very specific on that? So you're talking about a no-fly zone, a safe zone?
A safe area, what we call now.
Safe from whom?
From Daesh and from Syrian regime at the same time. An area where civilians can stay without any fear of being attacked and killed.
Where they can build the pipeline.
And you will do that with the Americans?
With the Americans, with the international community.
And will that also entail sending Turkish troops in there to protect that area?
I think at this moment, nobody wants to send ground troops.
They may not want to, but will it be necessary?
If there is enough power of moderate forces in Syria, there will not be any necessity for other countries, including Turkey, to send any ground troops.
Yeah, but
important thing is, your previous question, important is to support moderate Syrian elements inside Syria.
But at the moment they're in a weak position, those moderate elements.
Yes, therefore we have to strengthen them. This is Equip and Train program.
Oh, Equip and Train program. Yes, perfect. Well, the no-fly zone is coming.
Equip and Train program?
Yep, Equip and Train. This is what they're talking about in Washington. We have to equip the moderate. It's the same bullshit. It's over and over again.
It is the same crap, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I just like the term.
Aleppo, look for that to be part of the no-fly zone. That is where they have the relay station for the other proposed gas pipeline.
I will mention once again, no-fly against who? This is not a no-fly zone. It's such a phony deal. They don't have it. ISIS is about ISIS. ISIS doesn't have a plane. The Kurds don't have planes. Nobody has planes. So why is it a no-fly zone? This is exactly what you say. It is a bunch of planes flying over this area where they're going to build a pipeline and make sure to shoot anybody's fucking.
And we'll do it with drones because that's cheaper and easier, and that's what the drones do. That's what they are for pipeline protection. Pipeline protection. All right. I have one last bit here, unless you got something else you want to bring in the middle. Can I play something, just an off-the-wall thing, really disappointing for the show, for me personally, just disappointing?
All right.
So Art Bell still has his program. What's his show called?
He's a podcaster now.
Yeah. He's a podcaster. But he still has a big audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they talk about podcasting with his webmaster, Keith Rowland, and I get a name check. And so I'm all excited. People are like, hey, you were mentioning, is there a mention of No Agenda show? No, but it gets worse.
Go ahead. Tell them what we've got.
Okay, well, the 22nd precursor to what we have is RSS stands for Really Simple Syndication. At least that's what it did when it first started. It's changed. Back in 1999, thereabouts, or a little bit earlier than that, this was a protocol that allowed you to kind of get a list every day of what's new on a website. So you could have a news reader or some kind of a reading program. Boom, get all the headlines and pick what you wanted to read without having to go through the website all on your own. So essentially content was pushed down to you, to your program. And so every day you could get those listings and so on. And then shortly afterwards, a man named Dave Weiner took on a task that Adam Curry asked for, and everybody should know Adam Curry, maybe, way back from MTV or VH1 days.
Oh, it hurts so much.
VH1, the junior varsity.
This is what I've been relegated to. Hey, VH1 boy. that hurts so bad. No thanks. People, a-holes. Dark Matter is the name of the podcast. Well, that hurts. It hurts.
Yeah.
But have me on the show and we'll make
the
up
podcast and promote the show.
That's what I want to do.
Work on it.
Hey, did you?
I want to mention this. This is an initiative. I haven't written it up in the newsletter yet. I'll probably write it up shortly. I'm doing it. I've suggested other people do it. I think I mentioned it to you off the air. Go on your Twitter. Get a Twitter account and add Adam Curry and The Real Dvorak, just so we can get our numbers up a little bit. But go on there and follow a bunch of high-profile celebrities. And by high-profile, I mean someone who's out there. They're on, the extra show. They're on these different shows yakking. So they're talking all the time. They're always not the famous actor that never shows up on a talk show.
How about that chick from the soap opera whose children are being deported back to Monaco?
That would be, she's getting out there. But I'm thinking more of the Robert Downey Jr. types.
Amy Schumer,
perfect. She's like over-promoted. Who knows why? So you get them and get them on your thing. And so if you open your little Twitter thing and it says Amy Schumer, shows her just tweeting right there, and it says 1 minute. So she's been within the last 5 minutes, she's been tweeting. That means she's probably on Twitter at the time. Send her a message. You should listen to the noagendashow.com.
Right.
You won't regret it.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that consistently, and just do it a couple of times and do it with different celebrities. And then if they never acknowledge or ever do anything, just drop them. You don't need to follow.
And we welcome Kanye to the show.
So, so pester them, and because all we need these people to go on to like the big show. Say, I've been listening to this No Agenda show. These guys are fantastic.
Yes, great analysis.
Great analysis. There's nothing like it. And that we need that, and that's the way to do it. Just every so often, just say, you should listen to noagendashow.com. So because you don't want to make it too complicated. No. You can tell them to Google it, but I think this is better. You won't regret it, and boom, we'll be in business. This is like this Howard Stern thing that he was doing for years.
Yes, Baba Booey.
He'd have people call in different things and then yell Baba Booey, Howard Stern's rocks or something like that, and then they throw him off the air. Worst that can happen, you get blocked.
No, it's a good idea. It's a very good idea.
It's something.
I like it. It'll help somehow in some small way.
Somehow help.
Some small way it'll help. Hey, I was looking. I didn't hear this on DH Unplugged, which I, of course, listen to religiously. You and Horowitz over there. But Berkshire Hathaway, Buffett's group, is making a big move, and I think it's telling. Berkshire Hathaway. Berkshire Hathaway is in the middle of their largest acquisition ever.
Yes.
$30 billion for precision cast parts.
Right.
And as far as I can tell, these guys make war components.
Pretty much.
So maker of aircraft.
But their real business, though, to be honest about, is pipelines.
Well, that's a double whammy. That's a double whammy. Yeah. So we're looking at pipelines and we're looking at war.
Yeah.
Go figure. They seem to go hand in hand so often. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know. It's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. That's almost how big is Berkshire Hathaway? Aren't they probably about the same size? Isn't this almost a merger of equals?
They're pretty, I don't know. They're massive now.
Oh.
I mean, they own the railroads. They got all these things.
Yeah, it's the infrastructure, man. And then, of course, like all really rich people in America, he's a Democrat.
Clean. Oh, yeah. No, all the rich people are Democrats. I don't know why people don't pick up on that.
Just want to mention that.
Oh, yeah. Buffett's huge Democrat. Bill Gates, huge Democrat. Ballmer, Democrat. Mm-hmm. Hearst, Democrat. They're all Democrats. Yeah. All the rich people. John Doerr's not only a Democrat. He's like a big Democrat fundraising guy. He's like a packaging guy.
Yeah.
They're all Democrats. All these billionaires are all Democrats. Trump,
There was this company that shut down. It was a Silicon Valley company. And what was the name of this thing?
I have a generality.
Well, yes. Let me see. 400 employees. It's like a personal concierge company, Zirtual.
Oh, right. That company that's supposed to be like, it's like you're one of those maid service concierge.
Right.
Yeah, you pay him a jackrabbit or whatever the name was.
Yeah, that's very simple.
A couple of them.
So they had 30 full-time employees in the company, so the headlines are off, and no one did the research, certainly not all these tech horny shows. They laid off, they say 400 employees laid off via email, but really these were all the, like the mods from that Metaverse mod squad.
Contractors.
Yeah, contractors. Well, that's kind of the question is, what were they? But I went to look at it. I thought it was kind of interesting. Wow, this is what happened to this company, because they closed it. Like, everyone got an email Monday morning. Sorry, don't come in. We're out of money. We're done. We're toast. And I found, above all places, I found an interview with the CEO, Kate Donovan. Now, while I play this, can you take a look and see who invested in this company? Because this is...
To give me the name of the company.
Yeah, Zirtual. Zirtual. Zirtual.
Oh, that's not the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Zirtual. That's like that's got some big names behind it.
Well, if that's even better. Hold on, let's take a look at it. Zirtual, and I think we can look
I remember this story when it came out.
Okay, so if we look at the Crunchbase,
life is balanced. What we do,
yeah.
The investors are like.
Well, let me see what we have.
It's like this. Isn't this a Calacanis operation?
Well, here we go. I never thought the day would come when I would play a clip from Calacanis' podcast, but it's so stupid. When you listen to this woman, if anyone invested a single dime in this company, they should be taken out bat and shot.
I would say the most challenging part is actually similar to what you said. It's the fact that we've grown so big, and it's just growth capital. It's being able to hire, since we're employees versus contractors, hiring ahead, building out this stuff, like seeing the future and playing the game right now.
Seeing the future and playing this. So she's playing a game with investor money. She's playing a game.
Right. Like, you want to just kind of like go all in and focus on the future, but you have the day-to-day of what you've built and learned so far. Like,
she's talking like a Silicon Valley investor. She's talking like this is the problem. They're investing in morons like this.
Of what you've built and learned so far. Like, a lot of times, I mean, we started the company as personal virtual concierge, $99 a month, unlimited tasks. Like, completely unsustainable business model. Right. And we grew out of that very fast.
So people invested in a completely unsustainable business model as per the CEO of the company.
But we still have some legacy plans that are sticking around for stuff that we grandfathered a crap ton of stuff.
We grandfathered a crap ton of stuff.
And now it's like, it's sometimes...
Now we're broke.
Figuring out, do you just make a clean cut and say, hey, this is the future, we're not really servicing this anymore? Right. Or do you say, well, we owe loyalty? We're a weirdly loyal company.
Oh, no wonder it's all coming crashing down, all this bullshit.
Here's their jobs that they were hiring for before this happened. They were looking for an office personnel assistant to the CEO, to her in San Francisco. So she's in San Francisco. That makes sense. Then they have a community manager from Las Vegas. So they have an office in Las Vegas. What do they need these offices for? Community manager in San Francisco, a content marketing manager in Las Vegas, content marketing manager in San Francisco. So what marketing of content? What is that all about? Buying native ads? I don't know.
I don't know.
A sales engineer in San Francisco? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It happens more often than not.
Yeah.
So what did Calacanis?
I don't know.
What did Calacanis say?
I don't know. I think you're right. It's probably from his angel company or something. Yeah, though he's an investor. Oh, there you go.
Well, here's what bothers me, and every time you bring one of these companies up and down, and you can't see who we are. We got what you do, why virtual, more. We don't have the list of the investors and all the rest of it. Where is that? Where is it on the website?
It's not there. I'm sure they would take it off.
Normally, you do this as much as I do. You normally find that, don't you?
No, couldn't find it. I found in Crunchbase, I found the investors.
Crunchbase would have it.
Mm-hmm. That's
which will have. I don't see it. Our blog, our assistants, our stories, what to expect, FAQ, join, work at Zirtual. This is a steal of, Calacanis is like see if he can improve other people's ideas. And this goes back to the other thing. My son used one of these services, and it was really handy for doing all kinds of stuff. And then all of a sudden, the prices tripled because they were in their ass on every request he made.
Although I will say, looking at my credit score, creditrepair.com has got me up from 630 to 665.
The next step, 666.
One of those days I'll be up partying with the 800s like you, John.
I'll be in the trailer.
That's right. In the Airstream trailer. I'm excited, man. First trip is going to be Colorado, Wyoming, all the way up to Calgary, hang a right, go to Alberta, and then figure a way to get back down. That's the first trip.
You can make it. Go across if you're going up to Calgary, go up to Edmonton.
Okay. I don't want it to be too long, this trip.
No, come on. Go to Edmonton. Edmonton's cool.
Do we have producers in Edmonton?
I think so.
I know
we have a bunch of them in Calgary.
I want to go where the producers are.
We have producers in Alberta.
Okay.
And they'd love to see you.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah,
Eh? We have a museum over here.
All right, I'm going to keep some Agenda 21 stuff for Sunday, which is there's some good stuff. And let's see, what else am I working on? Yeah, I really want to follow what Germany's going to try and do with Greece. Have those banks even opened up, or are they still closed?
No, they've opened, but their stock is pretty much decimated, like 80 cents a share or something like that. They expect half of them to go broke.
Okay.
It might be, I don't know. I do have the art of the teaser.
All right, let's do it.
A couple of little clips. Let's play the art of the teaser, not the FBI clip one. The FBI, well, let's play that one first because this one kind of stunned me. This was used as a teaser. There's an art to it on TV to get you to watch the news. So they lie, they kind of give you a little tidbit.
Cliffhanger to stay with us through the commercials.
This one here, the art of the teaser FBI clip, this was just got my attention because of the tease.
I'm Ken Bassett in the KPIX5 newsroom. New at 6 tonight, the FBI stepping in on the streets of Oakland. Only on 5, a new partnership aiming to solve more crimes faster. Plus, a surprise to some during our drought. Plenty of water at this Northern California lake, but there's no one around to enjoy it. The misconception that's keeping people away.
FBI, yeah.
But the FBI's taking over the Oakland Police Department. What's going on?
Yeah. Well, it's good news.
The National Police.
Mm-hmm.
Now, a real teaser, I didn't think that was a good teaser. The one that got my attention was the art of the teaser clip, which is this one.
Also, who was the woman in black? The search for her after she slipped off the Bay Bridge and then possibly caught a ride on a dump truck.
Plus, the outlets in Livermore are expanding, why some say more stores will mean more problems. That's ridiculous.
That's tonight at 11.
Now,
yeah.
So this woman jumps off the bridge. She's part of a group of people that are being chased or something by the cops.
And she lands on the garbage truck like in a Clooney movie?
Well, that's what you'd think.
Yeah.
But apparently she jumped off the bridge, which normally kills you. But I guess she knew how to dive or something. She got into the water and then she swam ashore somewhere. She thinks over by there's an area where there's a radio station. And then hitchhiked a ride on a dump truck. What a great story.
Yeah, and did you get the whole story afterwards?
I just gave it to you.
But did it pay off?
Can't find her.
Did it feel good, though? Did the tease work for you?
If I had not ever heard this story from the get-go, it wouldn't have made a bit of difference in my life. It was one of these bogus stories. Who cares?
I hear you.
It's not like the material we do on this show.
Which goes deep?
Deep and long.
Yeah. Well, we had the big Mile High Club, so we had to go high as well today. That's why.
Deep, long, and high.
Extending your programming benefits. You are the producers of this show. Please remember us for this Sunday's program at Dvorak.org/NA. And you can follow us on the Twitter at Adam Curry and at The Real Dvorak. I'm still not verified. I'm going back on that track again.
You just have to get back on that bandwagon.
Yeah, so
you should have been verified years ago.
I don't even know how that works. I don't know what to do.
Well, I was bitching about it for a long time, and then I got verified. It just happens.
I mean, at least verify me as Adam Curry from VH1 or something. Verify me for something.
No. They know who you are. You just complain a lot. That's how I got. That's how I got my verification. When some loser with like no followers got verified, and so I started complaining bitterly, and then bingo, I got verified.
These and more secrets shall be revealed on the upcoming program on Sunday. Until then, coming to you from FEMA Region 6 in downtown Austin. In the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry,
and from Northern Silicon Valley, where we're anything but weak, I'm John C. Dvorak.
We'll be back on Sunday right here on No Agenda.
Among the many to criticize Trump for the comments is Republican candidate Carly Fiorina. Trump fired back at Fiorina, writing on Twitter that she gives him, quote, a massive headache.
No. Look, I'm not struggling with this at all.
As a general rule, I am just fine with a drink in the booth. Hold on a second. And drink in the booth. Okay, you know what? No. Hey. No. Listen. No. And drink in the booth. It's not respectful when you get invited to somebody. I know that's right. Come on. You're not gonna get a good response from me by interrupting me like this. I'm sorry. No. I'm sorry. Come on. No. Shame on you. Hey. Shame on you. You shouldn't be doing that. No. Hey. Can we escort this person out? No. You can either stay and be quiet, or we'll have to take you out. All right. Can we have this person removed, please? Okay. Where was I?
Bing, bing, bong, bong, bing, bing. Mr. President, Paul McCartney.
A significant impact.
Significant impact.
No. Hey.
Dude named Ben. OPM. What does significant impact mean?
No. Hey.
Dude named Ben. OPM.
The fact that they were able to. That's a significant impact.
No. Hey.
Dude named Ben. OPM.
Where is the media? Now get out there and whoop Obama's behind. Whooping with the Constitution. Whooping the Constitution. Whooping the Constitution. Whooping all of them behind the Constitution.
Adios, mofo.
The best podcast in the universe.
Amen. Fist bump.
Dvorak.org/NA.